offered 24, but it wasn't enough. The Spurs continue their 7-game homestand tomorrow as they welcome in the Orlando Magic. In college hoops, Texas fell to fourth-ranked Houston 76-72.
This is R&R in the morning.
Man in motion, handoff, Pollard coming right. Bang, zoom, touchdown Cowboys.
Wembanyama about 3 feet behind the line. Got it.
It's R&R in the morning with Rob Thompson and the managing editor of Blogging the Boys, RJ Ochoa.
Good morning.
Hey, good morning to you. Huddle up around us. It's Rob and RJ. Right here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Day. He is, did I say day? He is RJ Ochoa, a handsome man. But on top of that, he's the managing editor of Blogging the Boys. Good morning to you, sir.
Good day. Good morning. Good star, whatever you want to call it. Yeah. So good day, Rob. Happy Tuesday. Happy not Monday. Happy not Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday.
You know, I woke up this morning and I even asked you the question. Did you arise this morning realizing that you had the greatest job in the world?
I did. You're a big part of that. So, you know, it's a great day to be alive.
Not to rub it in, but this time next week, while it will only be 4 a.m. in the morning, RJ and I will be sitting inside of the beautiful downtown Las Vegas. No, it won't be downtown, but we will be upwards on the strip there at the, I believe, the convention center, broadcasting live from Super Bowl 58. You know, that's the Super Bowl is my age. So I always know what year it is.
That's really convenient for
you. It is. It helps out a lot. You know, my oldest son, his birthday is 7896.
That's really convenient as well.
Awesome.
I have a cousin who was born on January 1st, 2000.
Oh, the 1100.
But I mean, it's like, how old is he? Oh, he's 24. You know what I mean? Like, It's super convenient and simple. So, wow. Shout out to all the people in life who have things easy.
So his birthday is on New Year's Day.
Yeah, probably.
Everybody's always really just kind of wore out by the time we get to his birthday.
Yeah, it's kind of like, you know, you're having a party.
It's a cool day though. Everybody's always off. You're always being able to hang around with.
Is everyone always off? I don't think
on New Year's Day. Who works on New Year's Day other than sports talk radios and sports talk types and air traffic controllers?
Yeah,
I'm doing something radical today, RJ. I'm trying something new.
You wore slippers to work.
That is actually given where there's guys in this building. You've seen him, Sean Rima. Sean will wear. Sean is known to wear a slipper or two, the ones that he can fit over those overgrown toenails. But that's a whole.
Hey, what's your new thing?
I'm actually doing our rundown today digitally. I didn't print it. I'm using a screen.
So I want to
make sure tab to save.
I want to make sure that we're on the same page here. You want kudos and props and attaboys for using your computer.
Well, no, I always use it.
I know, but I mean for you. So you've saved the environment by not printing a piece of paper.
I am a walking Geico ad, RJ. I'm one of those, you know, the young guys acting like they're old. You've seen the spots. You know what I'm talking about. The guy that teaches the new homeowners. Oh, come on.
Nobody cares about
the guy that teaches the young homeowners not to act old.
Oh,
you know what I'm talking about?
Teacher, though. You're the teacher.
No, this is my first time actually using. I normally need a piece of paper. I need the rundown. But see, the rundown I have, I didn't get it all filled in.
You're showing everybody. You're Jerry Jones in our draft board to the whole world. What are you doing?
I mean, you know, evidently that draft board means a whole lot more than we thought it did, and we're going to talk about that. But mine's not filled out. So as we begin the show, I thought, well, I'll just go digitally. I'll just go what's on my tab. But the problem with I'm at the tab is there's other stuff I can't see. I'm not very good at segmenting windows, but that's a whole other problem. But as we sit and as I stare at our wonderfully produced and digitally enhanced show rundown, we sit in the midst of the 6 o'clock block. I call it the A block, and it's
we are in the intro in any production level business.
Yeah, we are in the intro icebreaker stage.
Okay,
segment, saga, chapter, if you will.
Would you consider
the story that is
being broken right now? Is that the process that we're in? We're literally breaking the ice.
Feels broken. I can't figure out whether it's the ice or not. I'll tell you what's broken. the Spurs heart.
Oh,
they are 10 men. They have a 10-ish heart.
I hate them. I'm so mad. I am so mad at that. I'm so mad that I gave them my time and my energy and my love. And you know what? It serves me right. By the way, David Alejandre says in the chat, don't show your cards, Rob. Jeez, Rob, be cool. Pledge says this is going to be a disaster. But you know what, Rob? While I hate them, you can blame me. All right? You can blame me.
I blame you for a lot of stuff.
No. But because I'll tell you why. I had 2 tweets in the drafts ready to go.
Okay.
I had 2 tweets. The first one was the Spurs have now recorded their 105th game in a row with 20-plus assists. They're 15 games away from tying the all-time record. Well, I mean,
that is the most. But with every passing second, it is becoming the most unobtrusive, ineffective, non-telling stat I've ever heard.
It's still a thing.
Okay.
That's all. It's a thing. So I had the tweet ready to draft, baby. And they hit it, and so cool. I was able to fire it off. I had a second tweet ready. All right, in the drafts, ready to fire once I was supposed to be able to.
Another one locked and loaded. What was this? What was in torpedo tube 2?
It was the San Antonio Spurs have won 3 games in a row for the first time since December 2022.
No,
but I didn't get to use it.
No.
Why? Because there was poop on the court, not bat poop, basketball poop. That was awful.
Gosh, it was so bad. And I don't know what low-hanging fruit is anymore. I don't know where you start. I don't know where my anger should go.
I think it just goes everywhere. You can even be mad at Wemby. Like last night was a special kind of collapse.
It's hard to imagine a worse kind of collapse to a bad basketball team. Though, I will say this: my interest in Kyle Kuzma has gone beyond a flirt.
So now you, what level of courtship are you at?
I'm ready to talk turkey. I'm ready to get to second base.
So the only paper you have, because you don't have the rundown, you're writing the note. Will you date me? Do you want to go out?
I think I don't know what the next step is. Do I send him some clothes? Do I send him a gift card to go get a new sweater?
What do you?
He's a clothes dude. He's a hound. He likes his.
But like.
So do I send him a gift card to like Ross?
I think what you do, and I think if we get 3 people in the chat who say you have, I think you tweet at Kyle Kuzma and you just tweet at him the eyeballs emoji, the one that's like
a winking eyeball emoji.
It's not winking.
Just the eyes.
Now you're showing your cards. There's no emoji. I guess there is one.
I use it all the time. Okay. I have a winking emoji in my arsenal, RJ.
That's my bad. Okay. So if 3 people say tweet or emoji or anything along those lines in the chat, Rob will tweet a winking emoji.
I need some kind of context.
No.
That feels like a little bit of a...
Nothing else. Nothing else. Literally just the winking emoji.
I used to have this shirt, and I liked this shirt, and it had a bunch of pineapples on it. And
was it a Senor Frog shirt?
No, it was Pepe's Surf Shack, I believe was the actual. Okay. This was a different shirt. And it had a bunch
Did you say it had a bunch of pineapples
on
it? Okay.
A bunch of upside down pineapples.
Can you tell this story on the radio?
And I come to find out after years of weird conversations, of which the context really didn't make any sense, where somebody finally informed me exactly what the pineapples meant. And I'm talking about, I had at least in the history of that shirt, 2 very strange conversations with people that were bringing things up that I thought that was really inappropriate. And then I find out years later that shirt meant something. And if you want to find out, go find out on your own. I get the sense if I just tweet out an eyeballs thing to guys or somebody else out there, the meaning I think it is might be something entirely different in that world. So can I give it some context?
I would love to know the events that you wore the shirt to. Like, was it a barbecue? Was it like You
Well,
know,
it wasn't with my family.
like-
My family isn't the type
No,
that went like,
no,
"Oh, really?
maybe-
Do you prefer this or that?" Like, what? What kind of question was that?
No, but like somebody invited you and it was like a scene with 100 people or
Well,
something. That
that'd
would
be
be
like
so
out
funny.
at a party and somebody would bring up something
Oh,
like,
that's a party.
well, yes, and it ran, but it wasn't like that kind of party. So the context was like, "Do I do what?" Like,
We've
I
got
don't
one
even
tweet,
know
or
you.
what? We've got one chat from Harrison Harsh with the eyeball emoji. We're 2 away. So if that happens, Rob will tweet. I will let you choose, Rob. It can either be just the eyeballs emoji where the eyes are looking sideways, so no winking involved, or the winking emoji. Either one, but you can only send the emoji at Kyle Kuzma.
Well,
We got to get
I
two more
feel
people.
like I'm being set up. Please, listening public.
No, and so we need people. Go to the YouTube channel, SA Sports Stars, subscribe, pay the like
Well,
text,
no,
like
I
the
want
video.
you to show me the
chat.
emoji. Pick
I'm
the
showing
emoji.
David Alejandro just said in the chat as well. We're 2/3 of the way there.
See, that's
So
not
it's-
enough. See, this
What do
one, the
you mean it's not
eyeball one that
enough?
we just showed, like the goofy
it's-
eyes, the googly eyes.
Yeah, it's the Woj, bomb eyes emoji. Oh, pledge dropped it.
See,
Pledge,
no.
pledge
3
pushed
votes.
you over the edge.
This
3
is
votes happened.
There's thousands and not 0.00009%
Rob,
of
we
those
got
that are
the
listening.
3. We got the 3. The democracy of the show has spoken. You
3
have to do
isn't
it now.
a big enough
You have to
bar.
tweet at Kyle Kuzma. Now Vince Trevino chimes in. Are you really going to deny the people what they've asked for,
That's
what
the
they've paid
people.
the comment tax for?
These guys are usually united in a front against me anyway.
Yeah, baby.
Everybody that has already
What do you
jumped
mean
in on
against
this.
you? This is a proponent for you. This is a proponent for the Spurs. We're
That
trying to
want me
will
to
Kyle
send some
Kuzma to
kind
the
of
Spurs.
flirtatious eyeballs to Kyle Kuzma.
That
That's
was your word. You said you were past a flirt. You were ready to flirt. Those were your words. I mean, so now all of a
his
sudden you don't want to get down.
not with him, with his agency, with his people. I'm ready for my see, Lawrence. No, that's weird. If I just
You
tweeted
gotta
that
tweet-
out,
This is the sequence of events. So the Spurs collapse to Kuzma's Wizards. You then tweet the eyeball emoji at Kuzma. Kuzma looks at his phone this morning and he says, "Damn, I need a part of this. Like, I need to get down to the 210 on a permanent basis. Let me hit up my agent and tell them to get cracking."
because I sent him some big eyes.
Yes. Look, Rob,
Do
we
I
have
have
like
that kind of
100
power?
eyeball emojis. We have like so many people want you to do this, and you're gonna deny the people? Really? The people have spoken. Look, we're not asking you to tweet the winking emoji. Tweet the eyeball emoji. Kyle, let's see what. You can do it, Rob. Let me find his Twitter handle for you.
I'm all right. Let me
Look, Rob, we're not saying
I'm going to
slide
do
into
this
his.
over the break. I feel like
We're
that's
not-
what I'm doing.
We're not saying slide into his Instagram DMs. That's not what we're offering. That would be a bridge too far. His Twitter handle is literally Kyle Kuzma. He has 1.3 million followers. So he's clearly going to see this. All right. You're trying to save the San Antonio Spurs. All right. You're trying to improve. This is the race for safe personified, Rob, and you wanted to deny it. How dare you?
I know.
How dare you consider anything other than obliging?
So I've got it up. I'm going to tweet at Kyle Kuzma. Some come hither eyes. So we got a break. Earlier when I said, "Did you wake up this morning thinking, my goodness, aren't I lucky?" I had the.
I'm sorry, really quickly. I'm just imagining he opens your Twitter profile after he sees it, and the very first word of your profile is the straw that stirs the drink. He's just like, "What kind of straw is this? what is he trying to stir?" Let's
see. What's his handle, Kyle?
It's just Kyle Kuzma.
Is he Kuz?
There's no underscores, no weird. He's not Prince of Darkness, 1, 2, 3, or anything like that. Kyle Kuzma, all lowercase.
So the appropriate. So I just go. I'm just adding Kyle Kuzma. That's all I'm doing. At and then eyeballs.
At Kyle Kuzma and then those eyeballs. That's it. You can do this. We believe in you. This all started.
I'm having trouble finding the eyeball.
If you had an iPhone, I could help you out here. But
no, I'm further evolved than you are. Not double eyes or one eye.
I think it's a double eye situation because you're looking at him.
Don't tweet at Kyle Kuzma the brown eye.
My advice is to go 2 eyes. That's
okay.
That's where I'm at here.
I think that stands generally in all circumstances. My advice is to get past the brown eye and go with two. When we come back, let's talk some Dallas Cowboys. You're going to have to hear some audio tape. It's in regards to Stephen Jones and his player intelligence and acumen on bringing guys in. That story is just the tip of an iceberg of a story that's beginning today. RJ found it yesterday. This thing has legs, and this will be the first that you're going to hear about it, though you're going to hear about it all day long. Dallas Cowboy talk in the worst light coming up next. This is 94.1, and you're on San Antonio Sports Talk.
The NFL playoffs are here.
Read all about it, baby. One last drive.
Wild card, divisional, conference championship, and Super Bowl 58 in Las Vegas. Hear it on your exclusive home for the NFL playoffs and the Super Bowl. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Texting enrolls for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop to opt out. Go to nomoredraftywindows.com for full offer details.
Attention all homeowners. Do you know when to replace your windows? Feeling too hot or cold? It's time to replace. Fog between the glass. Time to replace. Spending too much on expensive energy that literally goes out the window? It's definitely time to replace. If you've put off replacing windows in your home because it's too expensive, here's great news. You can now get a free in-home window consultation and free price quote from Renewal by Andersen, the company with the most 5-star reviews among leading full-service window replacement companies. And right now, you can save $359 off every window and $887 off every door. Just text RENEWAL to 200-300 for your free consultation on top-quality affordable windows or patio doors for no dollars down, no payments, and no interest for a year. That's right. You don't pay a dime for an entire year. Plus, save $359 off every window and $887 off every door. But hurry, these big dollar savings end this month. Text RENEWAL to 200-300 right now. Text the word RENEWAL to 200-300. Don't wait. Text RENEWAL to 200-300.
Urgent Camp Lejeune settlement message. On September 6th, the government announced it will soon begin providing fast, guaranteed settlements to Camp Lejeune Marines, families, and civilians. Awards will range between $100,000 and $550,000, with an option for higher amounts. If you or a loved one spent time at Camp Lejeune and suffered cancers of the bladder, liver, or kidneys, leukemia, non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, Parkinson's, or kidney issues, you may qualify for compensation and could be paid within 60 days after accepting your settlement, with your VA benefits fully protected. You may be entitled to a significant financial award for your Camp Lejeune claim, but you must act now. Call the James Harris Law Camp Lejeune helpline now to get the compensation you deserve. We're already fighting for thousands harmed by the water at Camp Lejeune. Call now or you may forever lose your right to be awarded a settlement between $100,000 and $550,000. For your free evaluation, call 800-350-3322. That's 800-350-3322. 800-350-3322.
If you get arrested, get out of jail fast by calling AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text bail to 474747 or online at mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else. Don't be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you one, make sure you understand the conditions before accepting it. AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price. They have payment plans. Call 210-225-2121 or mybestbailbonds.com.
License number 149.
QC Kinetics patient Robert Patterson, a veteran and business owner, struggled at work and in the gym with chronic agonizing shoulder pain.
Those injuries just continue to nag, and if you don't treat them, they just get worse. And I just kind of abused my body for a long time, and it finally had said enough is enough.
That's okay, because QC Kinetics tells your pain, hey, enough is enough. Their regenerative treatments bring you relief by helping restore and repair damaged tissue with no drugs, no downtime, and best of all, no surgery.
I was able to exceed the goals that I had previously attained in the gym. It was absolutely worth its weight in gold, so I could continue to live life without limitation.
Ready to get lasting relief from your joint pain? Call QC Kinetics to learn more about how natural biologic treatments can get you lasting results. Call now. It's a free consultation.
210-571-0318. That's 210-571-0318. QC Kinetics, 210-571-0318.
Feeling trapped with that old phone? Don't. Getting a new phone is easy. Come into Verizon and get one of our best phones on us with Select Trade-In on Unlimited Ultimate Plan and get a plan that helps you save by only paying for what you need. Act now and get a brand new phone at your Verizon store today. $999.99 device payment or full retail purchase with new smartphone line on Unlimited Ultimate Plan required. Less up to $1,000 trade-in/promo credit applied over 36 months. Promo credit ends if eligibility requirements are no longer met. 0% APR. Trade-in conditions apply.
Get the appliances you need right away at Lowe's. Explore the largest assortment of brands you trust, like Whirlpool, Samsung, and LG, in-store or online at the best values. Plus, take advantage of our everyday financing offers on top items, from refrigerators to laundry pairs. And there's more. Get your new appliances delivered or installed quickly at your convenience. Because Lowe's knows appliances. Lowe's knows home improvement. Subject to credit approval.
My friend and I are taking a trip to Mexico this year, but neither of us speak Spanish. So we downloaded Babbel and started learning Spanish fast.
Want to start getting conversational in another language in as little as 3 weeks? Babbel's quick 10-minute lessons were designed by language experts to be the most efficient and effective way to learn a new language.
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿Cómo te llamas?
Babbel, language for life. Celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Go to Babbel.com and start learning a new language today. That's BABBEL.com.
When something happens to your car, you might say,
My car.
but what you really need to say is something that can actually help.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
And just like that, State Farm is there to help you file your claim right on the State Farm mobile app. So just remember, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
State Farm, Bloomington, Illinois.
Super Bowl 58 in Vegas is set. It's the Chiefs and Niners. Hear it right here on your exclusive home for the Super Bowl. 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Hey, I don't know why I did that. Hey, huddle up around us. That's RJ. I'm Rob. He's the managing editor of Blogging the Boys. Treat him with the respect that he's due, please. I did it. I feel very, I don't know. I feel very weird about this. So everybody listening, please go there and like it or do something. So you act like I'm not alone out in the ether.
Rob Thompson, ESPN.
I implore you to do that.
Rob tweeted the eyes, if you know what I'm saying.
The googly eyes. I googly-eyed Kyle Kuzma.
No.
Those aren't the googly eyes?
No, I'm just saying they are the eyes.
The eyes.
The eyes. It's kind of like Ohio State, like the eyes.
But the eyes are googly.
They're whatever you want them to be, Rob. I'm loving imagining a world where Kyle Kuzma is,
Is what?
looking at this and saying,
taken aback,
what?
awestruck.
He's just what? Just who is this? What? Where am I?
I'd like to apologize in advance. I got your tickets to give away today, RJ.
Then do that.
Are you familiar with Australian Pink Floyd? See, their music spins backwards when it. That's a bad dad joke. Australian Pink Floyd, they're coming to our beautiful Techport Center in August. And I've got tickets. I'm a fan of Pink Floyd. I just didn't know there was an Aussie version and what that means. I don't know, but I have those. And do I have Neil McCoy or do I have John Michael Montgomery today, Edwin? Because we gave Neil McCoy away yesterday. And I'm a fan of Neil. But
John Michael Montgomery.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, a JMM fan, as he's known around our house.
JMM.
See, that's your house, not mine.
Right.
We like JM.
I think I'm going to get this tweet printed and framed.
I just get the sense this could get weird. So, I mean, I'll just go with it from there.
We're already here.
But so. I will say, if it promotes the fact that I am a bit of a fan of a Kyle Kuzma, and this is a conversion for me. I've not always been a fan of his. But given his skill set, his length, and his ability to go get a bucket, I think his timing would be perfect around the old Spurs ranch. So I'm kind of down for calling and discussing a little bit of player movement and acquiring a Kyle Kuzma. Yeah, let's get weird down here,
And you know what? At least we didn't have you tweet that at him. Like, imagine if you had tweeted at
Hey,
Kyle.
Kyle, hey, let's get weird.
I mean, that would have been worse, I think, objectively. So, that didn't happen. So you're welcome. It could have been way, way, way different.
I'm going to ask our listeners, and I'm going to kind of string them along for a second, RJ. But I want everybody who is on our feed and can type something to do something for me. And I'm going to play like this psychologist word association test.
Okay. We already asked them to do the eye thing, but so now we're just putting a lot of work on it.
It's free radio. It's free. This doesn't cost you a penny. Unlike other things that you could listen to. So all we ask is a couple things. And one of them is to use your thumb, put a thumb on it on a daily. And you know what that means. And next, to participate. And one of them is, when I ask you, describe in your mind your first thought of Stephen Jones in 3 words or less. This, when I say Stephen Jones, what are the first 3 words that come to your mind? This isn't going to go
how you think, Rob. This isn't going to go how you think.
No, I'm just very curious what the perception of a guy that was born son of a billionaire who falls ass backwards into being the assistant general manager and primary money dude of the Dallas Cowboys, the most successful professional franchise. And by success, I'm quantifying that by dollars, professional franchise in the entire freaking world. When you look at that, what are the first 3 words that you think of when you think of Stephen Jones? Now, with that, as you contemplate those 3 words and go to our YouTube feed to type that in so we can put it up on the scroll and that will be seen worldwide, your thoughts will make it into the stratosphere. I want to ask you the question about why we're asking this to RJ, because you came upon an audio tape, listen to me, a cassette tape. You found...
You found an 8-track.
You found an 8-track, which has a whole lot of other questions that this begs. But when we get back, as the people, our morning crew, and in thanks for that, if we get, I'm all about the carrot and the stick, and thanks for that. If we do get a lot of these responses, we're getting some good ones. Risk averse. That's only 2 words, James. I asked for 3.
Come on, please.
We'll give away some Australian Pink Floyd tickets in the next 30 minutes. But coming back, let's listen to an insider's view, bird's eye view of Stephen Jones in action. You're going to hear sound of this coming up next. You're on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
If you miss the Blitz with Jason and Joe, then you miss this.
What was Pop's thinking at the beginning of the year with Jeremy Sohan? What was he trying to do there? Or what did he think he could do with Sohan?
Well, the idea was to have a big lineup, but it's hard to make a playmaker into a point guard. I remember Hank Egan. I'll never forget what he said. He said, "Only God makes point guard," and he's right. I mean, it's just really difficult to kind of instill that mindset, that way of thinking into somebody who doesn't quite have that.
Right home with the Blitz. Afternoons 2 to 6 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Score big with LS Tractors at Dietz Tractor in Seguin, the MVPs of the field. LS Tractors, the star quarterbacks of farming, perfect for tough tasks for farm, ranch, and landscaping. Dietz Tractors has your all-star coaching staff for top-notch equipment. They're not just selling tractors, they're building lasting relationships with unmatched dealer support for parts and maintenance. It's a winning strategy that goes beyond the final whistle. Don't miss the game-winning move. 0% financing available with approved credit on LS Tractors. Start blue, stay blue at Dietz Tractor in Seguin.
If you can't sleep because of annoying knee pain, that's a problem. If you stop running because your feet always hurt, that's a problem. If your elbow, shoulder, and neck pain make it impossible for you to do your job, that is a problem. And it's time to finally do something about it. I'm Dr. Jason Garrett from Arasti. At Arasti, we fix pain fast. No medications, no injections. Arasti treatment is completely natural and non-invasive. Plus, we accept most insurance plans. There's a location near you. Visit Arasti.com. That's AIRROSTI.com. Arasti, we fix pain fast.
We are down to the big game in the football season, and you could still play along at Underdog Fantasy. Jason Minix here from the Blitz. I love playing the Pick'em game at Underdog Fantasy, where you pick between 2 and 5 players and select whether they will go higher or lower their predicted stats. And if your picks hit, you can win up to 100 times your money in a single night. It is a fantasy game that is legal in Texas and certainly makes watching the games a lot more fun. Get in the game now. Go to their easy-to-use mobile app or go to UnderdogFantasy.com. Sign up with my promo code STAR, and Underdog will match your first deposit up to $100, and you're ready for the big game. Plus, they'll give you a special pickup higher than a half total yards to use on your first pick'em entry. UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code STAR. Must be over 18 and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org.
Well, family, this new year is off to a great start. Everybody, how are those New Year's resolutions?
Dear, my resolution is to cut my damaged hair and just start over.
Dad, my resolution is to take better care of my skin. It's so dry. Ew.
Pops, my New Year's resolution is to work out at the gym. Go up and drink a gallon of bottled water every day.
My resolution is to take up skydiving.
Mom, you're 96.
Don't you make me get it.
Family, my resolution is to replace all our appliances that have been destroyed over the years by hard water.
Sounds like your family needs to start the new year off with installing a Connecticut water system and get a head start on all those resolutions.
This guy's making sense.
There's a reason why we say Connecticut is the last water softener you'll ever own. Call us at 656-PURE. I'll even let you try a Connecticut water system for free. We'll change your water, and it'll change your life.
The last water softener you'll ever own. ConnecticutSA.com.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health San Antonio will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 210-615-7777. That's 210-615-7777. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. The IRS just rolled out a new program to help struggling taxpayers more easily resolve their tax problems. It's called the Taxpayer Relief Initiative, and it opens up powerful new options for people looking to get back on the right track with the IRS. And no one knows this program like the professionals at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution company. They've resolved over $1 billion in tax debt for their clients and have the expertise and experience to help you. One easy call to Optima can start the process, helping to put an end to your worries of wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other aggressive IRS actions. Make today the beginning of your fresh start with the IRS. Call the experts at Optima Tax Relief now for your free confidential consultation.
Call 800-890-0144. 800-890-0144. 800-890-0144.
Optima Tax Relief. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Okay, everyone gather around. I have some exciting
Running her shoe factory, Kendra talks the talk and walks the walk.
We're switching to green energy.
She needs a biotech consultant to erase her carbon footprint.
All operations will net zero emissions.
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. You can schedule and conduct virtual interviews all from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
O'Reilly. Did you know 1 in 4 car batteries is weak and needs to be replaced? O'Reilly Auto Parts will test your battery for free. If your battery needs to be replaced, our professional parts people can help you find the right Superstart battery for your vehicle and budget. Don't wait. Get your battery tested for free today at your local O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts. Listen to 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star on your Amazon or Google smart speaker and just say, Alexa, play 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
This is San Antonio Sports Star. I'm just trying to fix the Spurs. Now, how the message is sent is kind of odd to me, but here we go. And thanks to those that have liked and continue to do so. And if anybody asks, I asked as we went to break, describe in your mind give me the first three words that come to mind when you hear the name Stephen Jones. With that in mind, let's talk about the audio tape that has surfaced over the last 24 hours. Tell us about it, RJ, and how did it come to be, and who is this person?
So what you're about to hear is a clip from the Athletics About Them Cowboys podcast, which is well worth your time.
Say it again.
Honestly, the Athletics About Them Cowboys podcast.
Does Machota do that thing?
He does. He's a part of it. Obviously, you can hear John on the Blitz.
I listened to it. I just wanted to throw it out there again.
Right. And the voice, who you can actually hear John Machota kind of going back and forth with him. The voice here is Kent Garrison, who works for the Athletic now, but kind of ran. That's a bit of a wide umbrella, but was a significant part of DallasCowboys.com's media team, producing shows, podcasts, live shows, including their draft coverage, obviously, from 2013 to 2019. And he offered this on their podcast, which was a rather interesting look at Stephen Jones.
Will's got a lot to say. That reminded me of something. When I worked there, one of my favorite parts was after the draft, going through all the tape of the draft and seeing who called them, because it's all recorded, like all the trade requests and all that. It's all just seeing, all that, like, so the stuff they turned down, when they could have jumped up.
or listening,
seeing and listening. Because it's all the phone lines are, if you watch the secret audio, the phone lines are all connected in through the cameras too. So
did the Lions ever try and offer him Stafford? I'm just kidding.
I know another line saying that I'm not going to mention specifics about, but there was a call about the Lions from the Lions during this time. And
Calvin Johnson,
the Lions called him and offered him somebody, and Steven was like, "Who is that?" And I mean, it was a pretty decent name, and he was like, "Who?" And Lions
Megatron.
He's blah blah blah, and they explained who it is. He's like, "Oh, we'll call you back." And Steven just like hangs up the phone and just sits there and keeps watching the draft. Doesn't even tell anyone that somebody called. Doesn't even ask Will who this guy is. And then the guy calls back like 5 minutes later. It's like, "Hey, did you think about that?" And he's like, "Yeah, no, bye."
So what do you think? That's off of the what's the name of the podcast again?
The Athletics About Them Cowboys podcast.
About Them Cowboys.
A few other points of context. The secret audio that Kent referenced, the Cowboys very notably, after they draft players, will release the conversation of, "Hey, Bob, how'd you like to be a Dallas Cowboy? Blah blah blah." So as a result, they're obviously recording essentially everything, which is what Kent said he would kind of go back and look at. And this made its way onto social media on Monday, and now everyone is just in line to dunk on Stephen Jones.
So let's establish the time frame. So between 23 and 2013 and 19, this cat worked there. And at some point during this, Stephen was watching the draft and received a phone call from the Detroit Lions regarding a player. We don't know what player. We don't even really know what year. Yeah. And whatever that player was, whomever, we don't know, but evidently neither did Stephen by what was heard.
I think, to speak for Cowboys fans, who, by the way, have answered your call to describe Stephen in three Jones, the next Jerry is what David Alejandro said. My three words were going to be the eldest boy, which you would get if you had seen Succession. But it's not so much that he turned down a trade. It's that somebody who's in this prominent of a position tasked with, I don't know, building the Dallas Cowboys roster, would not know who a prominent player on the Detroit Lions is, right? You ask any casual, obsessive football fan, they probably can name, I don't know, 10 players on every team in the NFL. So it's a bit startling that Stephen Jones would not be able to do that under the implication that this was a well-known player, worth knowing by the average person. Certainly a person who's in the position that Stephen Jones is in.
Okay, and if that's the scenario of what could be many, many different scenarios,
are you really going to bat for Stephen here?
I'm not going to bat for him, but I will agree to it. That's a weird thing to have heard. And that's the very reason why things like this aren't allowed in a court, because I don't know what was said on the other side. I don't even know what the inflection of who is. It could have been like, hey, I'll trade you so-and-so, Ndamukong Suh, Megatron, for name the best player on the Cowboys that year. And he goes, who? No. Bang up. Like, that's nuts. It could have been that. All I'm saying is I've been around the dude enough to go, even as a passing fan, he knows as much as any average fan. So he didn't go who to Calvin Johnson. He didn't go who to Ndamukong Suh. He didn't. I just know for a fact that guy did not, because any passing fan would do that. I'm not going to hold him to that standard. Are there problems? I think that there is this sense of entitlement. I think that there's this sense of really all that matters is the progression of the program and not wins. I think that there's something to that, but I'm not going to accuse him of being ignorant.
Mike initiating.
Of players like that. I'm not. I'm just not going to go there. I think this is nitpicking when we could find better fights.
There's a level of trust that's required in order to make the leap to dunk on Stephen Jones here, right? Like, you have to trust Kent, because Kent heard the entire conversation.
Right, and right? You're right.
So Kent's implication is that this was a buffoonery sort of moment from Stephen, right? Like, that's the kind of vibe he's offering. And there was a descriptor of Stephen. Pledge said he's risk averse. There was another one that was kind of along those lines. Understands his place. More of same from Gilbert Padilla. Jedi Master understands his place. And they are incredibly risk averse. We had an article that went out on Monday at blogoftheboys.com. One of our talented and long-term writers, OCC, goes by a pseudonym. We got some of those writers. OCC doesn't want
nom de plume.
Yeah, somebody didn't want. OCC doesn't want to get doxxed. So you've seen the graphic, right, a million times about the Mike Shanahan staff in Washington and all the billion coaches that it has yielded.
Right. Yeah, that picture. Yeah.
So people used to talk about Bill Parcells' staff in Dallas the same way. They had Sean Payton and Mike Zimmer and even Anthony Lynn, Dan Campbell now. Granted, he was a player. So, similar sort of thing. Since the Bill Parcells staff, and I don't expect you to know the answer, but if you get it right, okay. So beyond that, so from 2007 on, we're talking now 16 years.
Gotcha.
17 years, I guess. But how many people on the Cowboys staff do you think have gone on to become head coaches, coordinators, position coaches, whatever, have gotten interviewed and promoted
and ultimately someplace else?
Become a head coach elsewhere.
Apart from those guys that you just named?
Like post those guys. So we're talking under Wade Phillips' staff, and we're not counting Jason Garrett, obviously. Jason Garrett's staff, and now Mike McCarthy's staff.
Was Eberflus here?
He was. That's one. Look at you, Rob. Man, Kyle Kuzma better check his DMs. Goodness gracious. Wow.
I think that's it, right?
No, it's one of three.
Well,
the three is really kind of stretching it. And I'm sorry, it does include Jason Garrett. You've got Matt Eberflus, Jason Garrett, and Joe DeCamillis. Was the interim head coach
that's
in
right.
Denver.
That's right.
So,
that's short-term guy. And DeCamillis actually is the best of those three. But anyway.
So my point in bringing that up is they're incredibly conservative, right? Like, they bring in dudes like that's like we heard over the weekend. Oh, they have interest in Ron Rivera to be the defensive coordinator of Dan Quinley's. And the same approach happens relative, obviously, to free agency. People think because of Jerry's reputation that Jerry will spend. No, they won't. No. They haven't spent big in free agency in over a decade. They don't like to make big deals. They don't like to make big trades. They just like to kind of par for the course and apply the base minimum effort. So I find it incredibly believable. Granted, I have to leap a little bit and make an assumption that Stephen would not know who a prominent player on the Detroit Lions was. I completely believe that.
And my concern about the conversation isn't the who, but the go on. Why didn't he ask for more? I don't understand. At any point, anybody who's ever What?
To your point, Kent says in the clip that Steven didn't tell anybody, including Will, who's Will McClay, the Cowboys scouting director. Like, why not, to your point, be like, hey, these guys want to offer me Rob Thompson. Like, what do you think about this? Like, and Will would have been like, who? You know what I mean?
Or just laugh at the fact, like, hey, this fool just called me and offered whatever. Just the teamsmanship of a bunch of guys in a war room together. And for him to,
why wouldn't any offer be discussed? You know what I mean? Why would any offer be kept completely to yourself?
Well, doesn't right. Why wouldn't it feed? Why wouldn't it go further? But doesn't this kind of feed the narrative? And I'm seeing a bunch of things come across, and Pledge has it on the nose. And sometimes it takes somebody on the outside looking in. It's not buffoonery, it's arrogance, and literally not running that info by any other football people like McClay. Yeah, I get it. But can't we just come to the realization that that Stephen Jones is doing exactly what he was trained to do? And that is to make money. Make money, make money, make money, make money, make money. After that, then we can quantify and we can arrange our hierarchy of important things. But number 1 and 1A and 1B are make money, make money, make money, make money.
This is Waystar Royco, and he is the eldest boy. It's shocking. I mean, it really is. Like, to think that, I mean, like, to the Kyle Kuzma thing, we're having a lot of fun with. Imagine if somebody was like, hey, Brian Wright, let's trade for Kyle Kuzma. And he was like, who? Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's the equivalent of what we're talking about here.
And that's the fear. That's the fear that there's ignorance
the guy
and
Rob
apathy.
Tweeted at?
He doesn't know, and he doesn't care. We're going to talk about that. Look around the NBA as Minnesota bounces back from a devastating loss to the Spurs, as the Spurs bounce back from a devastating win. To grab that victory or that loss from the jaws of victory. We're talking Spurs in just a couple of minutes and looking at the standings next. Aren't you glad you're here? Go check your Twitters and like those eyeballs. We'll figure that out next. You're on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
The professional football playoffs are here.
Out of the gun, back to Dak. Left side of the end zone. Touchdown.
14 teams with only one goal in sight. The big game in Las Vegas. Presented by Flight by Yingling. Hear it on your exclusive home. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
When was the last time you went to the dentist? Need a new dentist? Hi, Jason Minix here. Go see my dentist at Smile Structure Dentistry and Braces. Smile Structure can handle all your dentistry needs, from general dentistry to oral surgery, orthodontics for the kids, or Invisalign for adults. Mention this ad, get a free exam and x-rays. Veteran owned with 5 San Antonio area locations. Learn more and book an appointment online at smilestructure.com. That's smilestructure.com.
Nothing says I love you like romantic, timeless jewelry. Even better when you can save an extra 20%. Right now at Diamonds Direct, all fashion favorite jewelry is 20% off. That's earrings, bracelets, pendants, bands, colored gemstone jewelry. Get 20% off Diamonds Direct's already unbeatable prices. Special financing too. Get her something she can enjoy and appreciate for years to come. A fashion favorite from Diamonds Direct. Shop in-store or online at diamondsdirect.com. Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion.
It's the Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rind Appreciation Day celebration. Enter to win $5,000 cash, tailgating prizes, plus Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds when you pass the pigskin. Enter at porkrindappreciationday.com. That's porkrindappreciationday.com. And make sure to pick up the protein-packed, bold flavors of Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds today at H-E-B.
My friend and I are taking a trip to Mexico this year, but neither of us speak Spanish. So we downloaded Babbel and started learning Spanish fast.
Want to start getting conversational in another language in as little as 3 weeks? Babbel's quick 10-minute lessons were designed by language experts to be the most efficient and effective way to learn a new language.
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿Cómo te llamas?
Babbel, language for life. Celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Go to Babbel.com and start learning a new language today. That's Babbel.com.
When something happens to your car, you might say,
My car!
But what you really need to say is something that can actually help.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
And just like that, State Farm is there to help you file your claim right on the State Farm mobile app. So just remember, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
State Farm, Bloomington, Illinois.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the name brands at up to 95% off. That's right, get generic for Viagra, the same active ingredient as brand name Viagra, but for 95% less. It's the same medication, still prescribed by a licensed medical provider, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. hims.com/joy.
We're here with Jose of the Gomez Law Firm. Jose, tell us a little about what makes the Gomez Law Firm different from all the other law firms in our area.
You know, we pride ourselves as being an open line of communications. We don't have an automated service. You're not going to ever dial our phone number and get some robot on the other line. You're always going to get a person 24/7. Our principal office is here in San Antonio, and we don't only say principal office because our main office is here. We say it because, again, Mr. Gomez was born and raised here, practicing law here in San Antonio in his community for almost 50 years. There are not many attorneys that can say that. If you've been injured, if you've been involved in an accident, you've been involved in a car wreck, call the Gomez Law Firm. We've been around for almost 50 years, and we're not going anywhere.
If you have been injured in an accident or hit by a company vehicle, then you need to visit joegomezlaw.com.
And remember, Gomez Law fights.
Hey, this is Rob Thompson for Tri-County Meat Market, your locally owned full-service meat market. Tri-County has two great locations, Huebner Road and Ralph Fair, stocked full of everything you need to up your grilling game. You're looking for the perfect cut of beef, they've got it. And if they don't have it, they'll cut it for you. Roast chicken, prepare foods, they've got it. The 5 for $25 is always in play. If you're a first responder, 10% off the best meat you're going to find. Tri-County Meat Market. Head over to either location, put some good meat on the grill, and thank me later.
Hi, it's Jason Minix. You're listening to the home of the Cowboys, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Welcome back. Hey, we got our silver and black in just a couple of minutes. We're looking at the Spurs loss last night. Devastating, though there might be some strategery to it. He's RJ Ochoa. I'm Rob Thompson. I'm looking at the NBA standings. That win over Minnesota made them mad. They go out and win last night. Back on top of the Western Conference. Denver second, half a game back. The Thunder's a game back. Clippers 2, Sacramento 5, Phoenix 6, 7, all the way down. The Spurs dead last in the West. Comfortably so behind the Portland Trailblazers. They're third worst in the NBA. And, by letting the Wizards win at the end of the day, just a couple more, that adds another ping pong ball in, because now the Wizards are up to 9 wins as the bottom of the NBA swirls, much like the Australian Pink Floyd tickets down the wrong way. Turns the other direction, so I've been told down there. They're turning the other direction up there at the Frost Bank Center as the spin down the toilet continued. They go down to the Wizards. What does that mean, and where are we going? And Kyle, I'm looking at you. We'll be right back. It's 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2.
Coming up on The Blitz, so much still to digest from the AFC, NFC championship games, and the perfect person to ask those questions, Shireen Williams from Pro Football Talk.
Yeah, did Dan Campbell make the right calls or not? We'll get her opinion. And a player's perspective as well, as Indy Kalu joins us at 3:30. The Blitz starts at 2.
The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Are you tired of going to the dentist over and over again? Hi, I'm Dr. Andrew Mueller, Chief Oral Surgeon at Doctor's Implants.
We have put a lot of money into fixing my teeth over and over and over again, a filling or a crown or a this or that.
At Doctor's Implants, replacing your teeth with full mouth dental implants might be the long-term solution you're looking for.
The 6-Hour Smile is a permanent full mouth teeth replacement. Your new smile will be custom designed to fit your face and lifestyle and will look and function just like regular teeth. You won't need to remove them from your mouth overnight, and you won't need adhesive to keep them in place. Eat freely and smile confidently again. Research them at doctorsimplants.com. Receive a complimentary doctor's consultation and CT scan when you call 210-640-0000. Again, that's 210-640-0000.
Home of the 6-Hour Smile.
Joel, I've invented the perfect exercise machine. It's practical, efficient, and fits in any home. I give you the Row and Go. Ta-da! It's a rowing machine that connects to your toilet, so you can row and...
Stop. Folks, at Quarter Moon Plumbing, Heat, and AC will help homes stay in tip-top shape. Call Quarter Moon 651-5899.
Quarter Moon Plumbing, Heat, and AC, 210-651-5899.
License number M16004, DACLA 000743458E.
Eczema flaring up again? We have good news. Exoderm. If you or someone you love suffers from eczema or dermatitis, get Exoderm, the common sense answer for eczema. This stuff really does work. Exoderm contains the #1 doctor-recommended ingredient in a clean hypoallergenic cream with no harsh additives. Take back control of your eczema with affordable, fast-acting Exoderm Flare Control Cream. Exoderm. It's in the first aid aisle of your local Walmart, H-E-B, and other fine stores.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation, an irregular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduced stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop taking prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. It may increase your stroke risk. Eliquis can cause serious and in rare cases fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or take longer for bleeding to stop. A spinal injection while on Eliquis increases risk of blood clots, which may cause paralysis, the inability to move. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding, unusual bruising, or tingling, numbness, or muscle weakness. Medications such as aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners may increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
Okay, everyone gather around. I have some exciting
Running her shoe factory, Kendra talks the talk and walks the walk.
We're switching to green energy.
She needs a biotech consultant to erase her carbon footprint.
All operations will net zero emissions.
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. You can schedule and conduct virtual interviews all from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
O'Reilly. Did you know 1 in 4 car batteries is weak and needs to be replaced? O'Reilly Auto Parts will test your battery for free. If your battery needs to be replaced, our professional parts people can help you find the right Super Start battery for your vehicle and budget. Don't wait. Get your battery tested for free today at your local O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
This is Jim Rome. Have a take, don't suck on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, KTFM, Floresville.
San Antonio's Sports Center.
The NFL coaching carousel is still spinning. Dallas Cowboys defensive coordinator Dan Quinn has his second interview with the Washington Commanders today for their head coaching vacancy. He still is in the Seahawks circle as well. Houston Texans QB coach Jared Johnson has an in-person interview with the Buccaneers' Todd Bowles today as well.
Sports Center is brought to you by Buyers Barricades, the Texas Authority in Barricade Rental. BuyersBarricades.com.
This is R&R in the morning.
Man in motion, handoff, Pollard coming right. Bang, zoom. Touchdown, Cowboys.
Yama about 3 feet behind the line. Got it.
It's R&R in the Morning with Rob Thompson and the managing editor of Blogging the Boys, RJ Ochoa.
Good morning.
Good morning to you. He's RJ Ochoa sitting in the dark. I'm Rob Thompson. RJ's the managing editor of Blogging the Boys, company ensconced and ready to go to Vegas. Are you ready for what's coming up this week, RJ?
You mean next week?
Well, this week and within a week we will be there.
But that's literally what's coming up next week.
But within a week, within the next 7 days.
You misspoke. It's okay.
I
It's embarrassing
did not.
For you.
I spoke in my parlance. It was not in yours. But within a week or next week after Sunday, yes, we will be.
Let me ask you something. Predicted. So by this time next week, we'll have spent our first full work day in Vegas, right? Will you have had something to eat that you are going to go, whoa, about? By this time next week, will you have had something that impressed you?
Well, you know, it is funny as by the way, I'd like to thank everybody who's reached out and said how much fun it has been to have RJ on the show. I completely agree. And one of the reasons why I think we've been so comfortably getting things going is we're of the like mind. I was literally thinking about next week, our expense account meal. We're radio guys. We don't have a huge budget as we go, but we get a little bit of, you can get an expensive amount of money, a little daily stuff, a little stipend, little per diem. Okay. Where are you going to want to eat? Are we going to eat like at the Golden Steer, which is the best steakhouse I've ever been to, the most fun steakhouse I've ever been to?
Yeah, I've only been to the Vegas area one time.
Is there a chef that you would like to try? Because every one of them's got a restaurant there.
No, I would offer. I just want like a really fancy like pretzel. I imagine that's an easy thing to come by. I want like the Stanley Michael Scott pretzel episode of The Office. Like I want M&Ms on this thing. I wanted to have all sorts of like brown sugar.
That's the just strangest search we're gonna have. But I'm
that's
sure
what I want.
But
my mother-in-law, shout out to Kathy, she told me about a place. Maybe you know the name. She didn't. Somebody told her about in Vegas that is completely dark. And I'm just curious if you would enjoy it.
No, the restaurant in the dark. No.
That's what she said. She said that they bring you the food and it's pitch black, but the waiters have like night vision goggles and stuff. And you have to eat everything in the dark. They don't tell you what it is.
Oh, hell no.
She thought it sounded fun. I thought it sounded horrible. So, I mean, I just want a pretzel. That's really all I want.
I think
know what I would settle for?
I want you to aspire to greater things, RJ.
No, you know what I would take? Actually, I prefer this. I want a cup of the pretzel bites. Because a pretzel is really difficult to eat. You know what I mean? And we're going to be busy. We're going to be touching a lot of equipment. Like, you know what I mean? I don't want my hands to be all sticky. I want something maybe that I can eat with a fork.
I want you to aspire to greater.
Well, then what's your thing? Let's hear your thing.
Well, like
by this time next week,
you will have access to the finest foods in the world. The Michelin chefs, the 5 stars, the TV types, the Italian.
What do you want then? What do you want?
I was asking. Like there is the Golden Steer, which is my favorite steakhouse in the world. It's off the strip. It's been there 100 years, and boy, they bring you a lobster tail and a steak the likes of which you've never seen. And then there's every kind of foodie experience you can think of. You could have $1,000 hamburger that's been sprinkled with gold and sesame and truffles and all that kind of stuff. We can have
the steer place.
We can go to an Italian food place that we go to called Lavo that will bring you a meatball the size of your head that is just beautifully done. If you're looking for Asian, the likes of what you've never seen in the world, they've got it. It's everything. So
this
aspire to greater.
Oh my gosh,
full of pretzels.
I'm going to send you this photo. This is a dessert option from Lavo.
Lavo is one of the greatest restaurants in the world. So I want you to do your research, and we're going to do one of our nights out, which we will document in high detail.
Look at this thing that I just sent you on.
I got you. I'm with you.
This is a. I thought this was a meatball. This is a dessert-based option. It's literally a fireball.
Yeah, that's a good grief. Yeah, that's pretty.
I mean, look again.
After it was extinguished. That fireball that was the San Antonio Spurs winning streak is now over. They lost to the Wizards of Washington after beating them so badly just over less than a week ago. Got their coach fired. They come down here, return the favor. 14 points down. The Spurs had that game all night long, like all night, from early to late. They had this game in their pocket. It was 10-14 until the fourth quarter. And they just, there's terms my coaches would say that I'm not allowed to say on air, but they just frittered it away. They just did a little of this here, a little bit of that there, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. And before you know, they lose a basketball game in the worst way possible.
We talked about this with the Minnesota win on Saturday night yesterday, when the Spurs, or how the Spurs kind of held win probability percentages for most of the fourth quarter. And the point was, while that game kind of felt a little bit, up and down or whatever the case may be, the Spurs were kind of in control. This game was the exact opposite. The Spurs were in control until 2 minutes and 30 seconds left. Like overwhelmingly, like the Spurs had absolutely every level of probability, every level of suggested win percentage. Like it was theirs. And it took the most beautiful disaster of incompetence to throw this game away. But you know what? That's who we are. Everyone failed, even Wemby. And I appreciate that Wemby, was honest about it, and kind of called them out and, didn't mince words. Wemby, he's right. They were immature.
Well, let's hear from both of them. This is Pop post game, and he was rightfully perturbed.
Well, that's what I call a self-inflicted loss. I thought Washington played harder than we did. They played smarter. They executed better. We didn't have enough people playing well or playing smart, and we did that to ourselves. So I think it's a tough loss because for the first time in a while, we looked young, we looked immature, we looked foolish, and did not play with each other the way we have been. So that's a disappointment, but that's the way it goes, and you move on.
Yeah, just that's how it goes. Post game Pop.
I don't move on. I have to sit in this filth. What do you mean move on? Like,
mark the tape. That was perfect.
I'm so tired of that. Like what? Like just because you're mad, we're supposed to feel better? Like what is the fix?
That's what really the worry is anymore. Not starting. This has always been kind of an underlying thing, the way Pop coaches. He coaches, I've heard that he's been coaching. He has, at least in the past, Coach Keldon kind of hard. And Wemby said, it might have taken a few minutes, but he has been yelled at from Pop. But do you get the sense, and I don't know, but I just get the feeling that there's just not a lot of ramifications for actions. That the accountability, Pop's mad at you today, but tomorrow I'll start again. And as long as there's a little bit of continued growth and we're a little bit better here, and finally you executed and did it right the fourth time, then, we're getting better. So there's really no need to get mad. Let's give flowers. Devin had 24. Let's give flowers. You guys controlled the game for almost 46 minutes. You guys did everything good. So get a good shower, boys. We'll get back at it tomorrow.
It does feel a little bit like, hey guys, we had a really embarrassing collapse of a loss to one of the worst teams in basketball. But oh well, like,
at home,
we're fine. But
but yeah, oh well.
Yeah, we had our chance to win three games, a big mighty three games in a row for the first time, all of which would have been at home. Could have given, our fans something nice to kind of sit and chew on before we leave forever. And, that would have been cool, but, we just didn't. And so it's all good, How about that brotherly matchup, huh? How about that? That was cool, huh? Watch two brothers play each other. Oh, yeah. Y'all enjoy that? Enough. All right. I'm so mad at myself, and I know that you laughed. I'm so mad that I was so high on the hope on Saturday night that I checked the standings. I'm so mad that I was that sucker that I was just like, how far out? Like, I'm so mad that I let myself get lulled.
Before you got here, Jimmy Trevino, who is the producer over there on our sister station, KTSA, one of the news rats, came in. He said, man, I really needed last night. I was like, what do you mean you needed last night? He goes, I needed that 10th win to validate the fact that there's still a mathematical chance for 30 wins. It's like, dude, you are so delusional right now. 30 wins. If we came back this time next year and we started with the 9-game run, we ain't gonna have 30 wins. What the hell are you talking? 30 wins? This team is biblically bad. And not only do they not try, they're under-talented. So you got, what did Dean Wormer say to the fat, drunk, and stupid is no way to go through life, son? Well, we're fat, drunk, and stupid, man. There's not a whole lot of redeeming character to a thing last night. I mean, there's nothing there. If you're not going to try.
If you had to. I mean, if you had to give the most positive element to last night's game, what is it? Because I have the answer, but I want to hear yours.
I have. I asked 3 words for Stephen Jones. I have 2 words for you last night. Blake Wesley.
That's your answer?
He's a difference maker, man. In the minutes that he got, the effort changed, the pace changed. Things were different. It's just the addition of another point guard. The Wemby thing is obvious. Wemby had a bad game, but he still had a good game.
I mean, it's amazing that 22 points, 11 rebounds.
Yeah, is considered a bad game. He still had a good game. He was still a presence. He's soft. Stop dribbling 7'5", dude, in the open court. They're coming for you. It's like ants to an ice cream cone, baby. They're coming. So stop dribbling. You're loose. But all in all, I don't fault him for what happened last. Well, he played a role. He's soft. He's a kid and got beat up like a kid last night.
So that's still the wrong answer. So embarrassing for you.
Oh,
you
wow.
Come up with the right one.
We made Marvin Bagley Jr. an all-star last night. He was balling. Thanks, Victor. Good job.
I was going to say, in terms of my answer for the best thing to happen is the Wizards were only 36% from beyond the arc. And your boy, Kyle Kuzma, who you flirted with on the internet, was a big offer. So that's the guy you're selling out for, Rob. He was 0 for 4.
No, it wasn't like Washington's good. It wasn't like a good team rolled in here and beat us.
I'm just saying, for a team that's been eviscerated, from the 3-point line, it wasn't that bad. So that was going to be my answer. But Chetty, hey, you got anybody want this? Anybody want to come downtown? Anybody want a little last minute in their life?
Chetty and his success last night, because Chetty played great. At least he was running
awesome.
at 101. He had the pace right. His shot was falling, and he knew, heck, ain't nobody else doing anything. So on the few opportunities that he got, he was the only dude that was dialed. Why every time down court when he was in there was a reason why he was out there. We needed to get him the ball more, and it just kind of is reflective of the selfish basketball that everybody around Wemby plays. That Devin and Keldon, they are selfish. They are, my option is first. If I got it, I got to do it. So Keldon goes to the bench. I get it. Go do it then. Devin is selfish. He takes more bad shots than anybody I know. He makes a fair amount of them. I'll give him that. But he takes some terrible shots that maybe some other dudes should be taking. So the selfish ball played into the apathy that we saw in the fourth quarter, because I got mine, go get yours is an attitude a lot of times. And that happens on defense too. So when I got mine, go get yours on offense, the same thing happens on defense. I got mine, you better take care of yours. There is no help side defense. There is no backside any kind of communication at all. It doesn't matter who was in there. And then you top that off with 5 dudes that don't give a crap. That even if I don't do well, hey guys, couple problems here and there. Don't mull over it. Here's a scone. Here's your lavender tea. Have a good evening, and we'll discuss some areas of opportunity tomorrow.
Lavender tea, interesting. I'm more of a honey chamomile kind of guy, but
I don't drink tea. Is there such thing as lavender tea?
Oh, dude, I'm bringing tea and honey next week. By the way, I'm very excited.
Are you down with that? Have you gone holistic?
It's just I talk a lot.
Oh, to get over the hangovers.
It's just to keep my throat from not falling apart.
How about that right in, huh?
Anyway, I wouldn't use the word selfish. I would use the word immature. It's immature basketball. It's not understanding, and I don't just mean to be synonymous, but I mean, that's the vibe I get. It's like you don't understand the bigger picture that's happening here, which is a mark of, and I don't mean immaturity like, like fart jokes. I mean, like, you're just not understanding, you're not understanding the overall goal here, which is why we're so upset about this, because it feels like some of this is serving to the detriment of the future of everything here. But I mean, back to Chetty. I mean, he's been named in possible, trades.
Free Chetty. Free him.
That's what. No, but I mean, come get him. Like, last night was a showcase. Last night was a better Chetty showcase than it was a Kuzma showcase. I mean, so let's do it. I mean, like, fine, free him, but give me assets. That's really, at this point, 2 birds, 1 stone. Free him. Give me assets. continue the rebuild. I mean, this is just
And-
same old, lather, rinse, repeat.
And we won't be mad if we see a player get yelled at.
No,
I don't understand the reticence to be
who's going to catch those
the
hands?
hard-nosed coach that Pop was known to be.
Who's going to catch those hands? Because I feel like that's going to happen. There is going to be a blow up on somebody that's going to be made an example.
At some point, he is going to lose it.
Who is it?
You get the sense it's going to be Keldon. That at some point, Keldon is going to scream yet again at the rim, because Keldon is a kind of a guy at the rim. It doesn't matter if anybody. So what happens is he cries wolf. So even when he is fouled and he hollers, he doesn't get the call. He doesn't have the respect of the refs anyway. And by the way, speaking of ref respect, so last night in the Milwaukee Bucks game, it's Doc Rivers' first game as the coach of the Milwaukee Bucks. Giannis is at the free throw line. I heard him described as the human rain delay of a free throw shooter. So there's the 10-second count that is never enforced. I mean, people boo and they clap and they count, but refs, that's been the last bastion of them inserting themselves into the game, is allowing the process, whether it be 3 seconds or 10, to take place for guys to take a free throw. Well, for the first time in ages, in Doc's first game as a coach at Milwaukee, the freak is called for a count for a 10-second violation. What does that mean? What does that tell you? Just when you hear that Doc's first game, it's never enforced. A ref steps in and says, "Today, I'm beginning anew. It is wrong."
I mean, I think to me, it's an implication of be careful what you wish for. Like, be careful what you invite. Be careful. Like, attention is never necessary, or not always a good thing. Doc opens eyeballs, like your tweet to Kyle Kuzma. And I think that's what that was. It's a victim of circumstance.
I think there was a message sent from ref to coach. Welcome back, hero. My eyes on you. Much like my eyes are on Kyle Kuzma. Last night, if we'd have had somebody that is a professional bucket getter, a guy that is here for a purpose, there'd have been a win. Even with the lackadaisical defense, even with the farcical offensive structure that we saw sometimes, with the lack of intensity, the inability to close out the simplest of passes, just be crisp. Even with all of that, they'd have beaten the Wizards. And there is a cure for what ails you. It's more cowbell, and his name is Kyle Kuzma. What I'm getting at is I'm to the point where I look at this team and go, oh my gosh, I don't even know where to begin, because there's hot nights and bad nights. Devin hasn't been playing poorly, and Keldon has been at the rim, even, with good and bad teams. But all in all, you get to the point where I want to see Pop blow up at somebody. I want there to be, I want to at least feel like the anger that I have as a fan is being shared, applied and shared to the players who are offering me these nights of uninspired, lackadaisical basketball. Like they're entitled. They're not entitled to my $95, $500, $2,000 seat. That's how much it costs for me to get there to watch you. Just show up. And you know what? Kind of giggle about it in postgame.
I don't think it's entitlement anymore. I think it's been too long. I mean, maybe there's entitlement from, I really don't know who, but it's indifference. You know what I mean? There's such a purgatory sort of team. Like, this isn't an entitled team that won a title 2 years ago and has some, kind of skeleton crew left over of players who think that they're, a part of it all. This is just, this is just existence. You know what I mean? This is just, this is just going along with the ride. Like, there's such a clear and obvious gap between you and the competitive teams. I wouldn't even say the competitive teams, the other teams in the NBA that, what is it worth? You know what I mean? Like, it's exciting, when you go on these like 8-2, 10-0 runs or whatever, and you get all into it or whatever. But then you so are quickly humbled and brought back down to earth that it's just kind of like, you know what I mean? Like, okay, cool. We all got some cardio in. You know what I mean? Like, we're good.
We're good. We'll be back tomorrow.
Yeah, like it'll be fine. You know what I mean? Like the checks will still clear. Like, we'll be fine. Maybe Kyle's maybe on his way. Rob tweeted at him. He's working those socials. I mean, but I don't think it's entitlement, because what do they have to be entitled about? Nothing.
Well, they know that, no matter what, we're going to buy a ticket.
I don't think that matters.
You get the pleasure of seeing Victor Wembanyama play. You get the honor of sitting down in front of watching a guy give you the very best he has,
but he's not
for 25 hard minutes.
He's not entitled at all, though.
He's not entitled, but he's only playing 25 minutes a game and doesn't have to play back-to-backs because he's not entitled, but the entity that is Victor Wembanyama, the product, is. He's not entitled. He doesn't have to play back-to-backs, though. And at 20 minutes, he's tired. He needs to rest.
It does feel a little person who has a incredible car in a bubble in their garage. I mean, mean, if that's the entitlement you're speaking of, then I'm fine with that. I'm talking about the roster. Like, I don't think I think the roster's so like raw and whatever and floozy that they're just like,
with every passing day. And I know we've had some it's looking
like,
less and less like
we lost again. Wow. Like how can you be more bad? You know what I mean? Like
the good news is they have a hungry team in Orlando arriving tomorrow night, a team that who'd have thought maybe we can emulate their process and get better. They're not what they were, but they're still really good. The Magics are coming to town, a matchup between Wemby and Paolo, which should be fun to watch, and we'll make sure we're getting you ready for that as we get closer. Coming back as we head toward the Super Bowl and all that goes along with it, the comparisons are going to be consistent, Purdy and Mahomes, but is Purdy getting the due that he has earned? Justification for Brock Purdy to be considered one of the very best in the NFL already. We'll talk about it next. This is RJ. I'm Rob. You're on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. I hope you got up this morning and washed yourself bright and clean underneath a Connecticut water softened shower. I hope you were in a soft water bathtub last night with candles lit and your favorite book there and maybe a scent of lavender in the air, knowing full well that your Connecticut had taken care of everything you need with the water around you. That's hyperbole for what I'm getting at with a Connecticut water softener. You're taken care of from everything you put in your mouth, to put on your body, and put on your dishes, and everything that goes along with it. You have the faith and comfort that a Connecticut is taking care of your water, taking care of your pipes, taking care of your skin and your dishes. That's what Connecticut is here to do. It's designed to do that. You don't even have to plug it in to have it do that. It doesn't eat up a whole lot of salt to do that. It does it on a regular basis. In fact, I can tell you full faith that I have never even used my Connecticut warranty. Why? It hadn't had a problem. It works when I work. It saves me salt. I don't know why other people don't have a Connecticut. Well, the only way I can get it to you to prove it is the way Mr. Knippa has figured out. Hey, give it to you for 90 days, let you figure it out for yourself. If you'd like to have a Connecticut water softener, one that's designed, manufactured with San Antonio and South Texas in mind, dial this number, 656-PURE. They'll come out and put one in your home for 90 days. Listen to me, seriously. They'll put it in there for 90 days, let you decide for yourself. And trust me, you're going to go with a Connecticut. On that 91st day, you'll be like your neighbors. You'll be like me, a water softener customer with Connecticut. It'll be the last one you ever buy or you own. They say it, I believe it. Go to ConnecticutSA.com for all the details. Know this. Trust them, I do. They're the Knippas. That's Connecticut. That's what we do down here. Call Connecticut today. Put one in your house. You're going to be thanking me later.
If you miss the Blitz with Jason and Joe, then you miss this.
Wade Phillips joining us here in studio on the Blitz.
He is the general manager. I mean, people discard that, but he played football. He obviously works hard at being a general manager. Meets with all the players that we're going to try to draft. I mean, he's into it. He works hard at it, and so he wants to know. I don't blame him for wanting to know, what we're doing and why we're doing it. And actually, he did the same thing with me that he did with McCarthy. He said, "I want you coaching the defense." He's trying to do the best that he thinks they're going to help us team.
Right home with the Blitz. Afternoons 2 to 6 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Joe, I've invented the perfect exercise machine. It's practical, efficient, and fits in any home. I give you the Row and Go. Ta-da! It's a rowing machine that connects to your toilet, so you can row and
stop. Folks, at Quarter Moon Plumbing, Heat, and AC will help homes stay in tip-top shape. Call Quarter Moon 651-5899.
Quarter Moon Plumbing, Heat, and AC, 210-651-5899.
License number M16004, DACLA 000743458.
My name is Dustin. I'm the head designer for Cody James Black Boots, and this is Behind the Design with Boot Barn. The objective with this new line was basically to create a collection of boots that were going to be elevated, quality made, using the finest materials and craftsmanship available. Some of the key quality construction details that carry throughout the line would be premium cowhide lining, hand-nailed leather soles, and simplistic design. Cody James Black, only at Boot Barn.
For your big game party, you better pop in to Total Wine and More for a guaranteed win. We've got thousands of bottles down every aisle, and prices so low they're gonna make you smile. Ask our helpful guides for a recommendation to add some wine and beer to your beverage station. Discover something new and let the fun begin. Come on down to Total Wine and More for a guaranteed win.
Drink responsibly, B21.
Sick and tired of achy joints? Dread the idea of surgery? You need to call QC Kinetics today. Hey, it's James Spudger with San Antonio Sports Star. Listen, the state of healthcare is always changing. The old ideas like steroids and surgery are no longer your only options. Regenerative medicine at QC Kinetics is transforming lives with innovative and non-surgical drug-free treatments that deliver lasting results. Knee pain, back pain, shoulder pain, pain from arthritis or injury. Don't let this pain keep you from living your best life. QC Kinetics' advanced state-of-the-art treatments harness and direct your body's natural ability to restore and repair damaged joint tissue. This is a revolutionary approach that can get you long-term relief with no downtime. Make 2024 the year you reclaim your mobility, reclaim your independence, walk, run, play, and live without the danger and trauma of surgery and without harmful drugs. Call QC Kinetics now for a free consultation. 210-571-0318. That's 210-571-0318. Locations in Hollywood Park, Westover Hills, and New Braunfels.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
At Edwin Watts Golf Shops by Worldwide Golf, there's something that binds us all. The collective goal to transcend the ordinary. Introducing the new Callaway AI Smoke Driver. The new AI Design Club has multiple sweet spots across the face, making it an average of 7 yards longer than the prior model. Visit us in store for a free custom fitting at your local Edwin Watts Golf Shops or shop us online at worldwidegolf.com. Get there.
If you get arrested, get out of jail fast by calling AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text bail to 474747 or online at mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else. Don't be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you one, make sure you understand the conditions before accepting it. AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price. They have payment plans. Call 210-225-2121 or mybestbailbonds.com.
License number 149.
This is Jim Rome. Join me weekdays at noon on my new home, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's Rob and RJ. You're on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. We're is the clock ticking? Are we counting that, or does the clock begin to tick for Super Bowl 58 on Monday or Sunday afternoon? When do we have the official countdown begin?
I mean,
like, I know, like when they're blasting off to space, it's like T minus 72 hours and counting or something like that. Do we begin 3 days out? Whatever. The countdown has begun to head to Vegas, and now the comparisons begin. We get first and foremost our quarterbacks, Brock Purdy and Patrick Mahomes, and certainly both of high quality, character, and all the things that we love and adore about the NFL quarterbacks. But Brock Purdy has been this guy who's appeared to be a recipient, a beneficiary of circumstance where, he's the last guy drafted, zero expectations, guys in front of him flamed out, couldn't, wouldn't, whatever. And he had the acumen and kind of the mentality to be a functionary in what was a greater thing, the Kyle Shanahan offense. But he's transcended that, right? I mean, he's He's more than just a functionary, a system guy, right?
Brock Purdy led all quarterbacks in EPA per play.
What does that mean
this season?
What is the EPA?
EPA is expected points added.
And what does that mean?
Play.
Is that like hits over average, over expectation?
Yeah, I mean, he's basically the most efficient, well-positioned quarterback in the NFL. It isn't there's no I mean, not literally well-positioned.
Well, it's good that
latitude, longitude standpoint, but highly, 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 highly functional. The most highly functional quarterback in the NFL. Now, a lot of that is, the result of the scheme and what's around him and the way their offense is designed and tailored. But at the end of the day, we are talking about the very last pick in the NFL draft. And the fact that he's in the Super Bowl is kind of cool. I know that it's been kind of annoying and there's been all sorts of toxic discourse around him, but they've kind of been absolutely amazing ever since he took over last year. I mean, and I thought it was so strange how a year ago there were no Eagles fans who were willing to even slightly say, it would really suck to have to play the NFC Championship game without a literal quarterback, right? Like the Niners were salty about that, and understandably so, and they lived up to it. And Brock Purdy played really well, and he was, as we talked to Rob Statsguerrero yesterday, kind of a big reason why they won the NFC Championship game, and not because he was a functional passer or highly efficient or the benefit of scheme, because he improvised and made plays and scrambled with his feet. He's not the fastest, he's not the biggest, he's not the strongest. He's just kind of like the right thing they need at different moments in time. Like it's hard to say he's so clearly better than everyone at this, but here he is.
Let's play the if he was there contest.
He would lose. He would not be great. Kyle Shanahan would trade him in a moment for literally almost anyone you're going to name.
Right. And that's you know what I mean? So amazing? I go, if Josh Allen was in that offense, Dak Prescott's sitting back going, what could I do if I was in that offense? I mean, there's 15 quarterbacks to go. If I'm in that offense, we're in the same place we are today, headed toward the Super Bowl.
They're not, though.
But I think we could argue that, yes, you could, because he got Jimmy Garoppolo's tired ass to the Super Bowl in that offense.
I think multiple things can be true. It can be true that this offense is a, magic dress that makes everybody who wears it look more beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
But it can also be true that he's not trash, right? And that's what this becomes. This conversation becomes like, oh, he's purely, totally garbage. And if it weren't for everything around him, he would suck. And again, I'm not saying that if you swapped places between him and Justin Herbert that the Chargers would thrive, but it requires a high level of skill to pull this off. Like he might, the way I look at this is, you're familiar with the animated Ninja Turtles series, correct? Obviously, you have an extensive knowledge of this.
I'm Leonardo type. Anyway, yeah, go ahead.
So in one of the main villains who the Ninja Turtles face.
You didn't expect that at all, did you?
I actually did. You're kind of a leader. That makes sense. I thought you'd be a little bit more hipster like me. I'm Team Donatello,
Oh, he's
but
cool.
Anyway. Right. So, they're all cool. Cowabunga! You know what I mean? Like, that's their thing. Anyway, so one of the main villains who they faced, his name was Krang. And I don't know if you're familiar with Krang, but he was kind of this robot, or some people pronounce it robot. And this big, like, robotic sort of dude that had a brain who operated him. The brain was the actual human being, or not human being, but like the actual, movement or whatever, but just lived and thrived with the like massive, robot body around him. And so Krang, the brain, is Kyle Shanahan. But that means Brock Purdy has to be some level of indestructible to be able to be utilized that way. I mean, everybody who came before him failed.
On the screen, I want to give credit to where it's due. Brian, is Brock Purdy the 49ers Troy Aikman?
No way. This is such an insult to Troy.
Slow down. Take off your blue sunglasses, RJ, for just a moment. Just a moment. I'm not saying that
sad.
To put them in the same
for you.
sentence at this day in this presence is being a victim of the moment. I will give you that I'm not a victim of the moment, but I will say, despite the draft disparities, won and last, there's a lot of similarity between the two. Now,
the similarity is they both are human beings.
Well, I mean, there's the obvious. I mean, he's got a little bit of that quickness to him. I mean, there's something about the mentality of Brock Purdy that does put me in the mind of Troy Aikman, that they do remind me of the same kind of thought process guys. But I will say what elevated Purdy in my mind more than anything over the last several years was the play late in the game against Detroit, where he got out of the pocket and used legs that I didn't know he even had to go get that. And after watching Purdy for enough time to see him be very successful, and he's still showing me things. He's still showing me things that I didn't know he had, and he's already really good. I'm buying in well beyond functionary. This is a quarterback for, I don't know the ages, I don't know, given the circumstances, but for right now, given his skill set, he is really, really good and borders on great. And you put a belt on him, put a ring on that finger, and then we're having an entirely different conversation. He will already be above the Flaccos and
that is such a disrespect to Joe Flacco. Oh my goodness gracious. One of the most highly successful playoff quarterbacks ever.
But
I like Brock Purdy, and I wanted to give him credit, and y'all ruined it. Y'all now are going to make me apply logic and reason and tear this whole thing down when I just wanted to give Brock
I wasn't trying to. First of all, I didn't mean to make you mad about
crazy
Flacco.
Saying how he's Troy Aikman. First of all, Troy Aikman was a physical manifestation of all supreme quarterback skills. I mean, if you built a statue of the ideal prototype quarterback position, it was and remains Troy Aikman. Brock Purdy is a tiny little kid from a physical standpoint relative to the prime stature of Troy Aikman. And look again, I wanted, and you ruined this, so this is your fault.
I'm so sorry.
I wanted to come here and give Brock some credit, but now we have to sit here.
Trying to?
No, because we're getting comments from Jedi Master, and now I have to turn. All right, this is, Order 66. I'm Anakin here. Jedi Master says Dak would not be in the Super Bowl if he was with the 49ers. Dak can't read defenses at the level is needed, and his decisions under pressure is not great. Jedi Master, bro, my friend, buddy, we're going to sit here and say things like this when one of the biggest completions of Brock Purdy's NFC Championship win was a would-be interception that bounced off of the face mask of a Detroit Lions player and wound up in the hands of a diving, stretching out Brandon Ayuk. But yeah, he can totally read defenses. Like, you see, we don't have to say these stupid things. We don't have to get ridiculous and hyperbolic and stuff. I just wanted to give Brock some credit, and y'all ruined it, all of you together.
We're not trying to ruin it for you, but the situation that Brock finds himself is very Troy Aikman-esque. It is.
In what way is it Troy Aikman-esque?
Because look at who he's surrounded by. He's got himself a stud running back. In McCaffrey, feels a little bit like Emmett. He's got himself a Debo that feels a little bit like Michael Irvin. He's got himself a Kittle, feels a little bit like Name, either one of the tight ends that Aikman had the pleasure of throwing to. He's got a little bit of a
Jay Novacek. That is so disrespectful to George Kittle.
Well, no, what I'm saying is a successful, very good, and Cosby, the combination was very good tight end play, a stellar wide receiver play, and stellar
if you're looking
running
for a
back play. So he's surrounded by great talent and really good offensive mind. I think the situation Aikman found himself was really, really good. And so did the same thing with Purdy.
I don't want to do this, but you've pushed me. All right. This is your fault, to be very clear. All right. So you have to make the walk of atonement after this, not me. You're going to wash your hands clear of this, not me.
Okay.
If you have to compare the situations, it is not to Troy Aikman. It is to, and you brought him up yesterday, my old Words with Friends buddy, Kurt Warner. That's the situation.
Okay.
Now, Kurt is a Hall of Famer.
That. Okay.
Yeah, Kurt is a Hall of Famer and absolutely deserves to be and should have been in sooner. Kurt is the man.
But situation
and I never, ever beat him at Words with Friends, and that was really embarrassing. But to your point, like innovative offensive scheme in Mike Martz. Literally, obviously one of the most influential, impactful offensive schemes to come out in modern NFL history. And you talk about talent around him. Literally, once again, the greatest show on turf. And if there's a comparison for Christian McCaffrey, it isn't Emmitt Smith. Although, I mean, they're obviously both great. But like the dynamic differences and to be able to help in the passing game, that's Marshall Faulk, Isaac Bruce, Torrey Holt. I mean, again, all these offensive weapons.
Okay, better comparison.
That's the comparison.
But I think the same comparison applies. That not only is he a victim of circumstance or a beneficiary of that, my gosh, look at the wheels around you, Mike. You better go fast. But
my friend
Willie
Do said in the chat, did Rob just compare Debo to Irvin?
I'm
Willie Do said.
Wow. Types. I'm one of y'all, and even you guys are a little sensitive. Settle down just a little bit.
Y'all pushed us. All right. That's what happened. Y'all pushed us.
They got to be in the same room. They ain't the same dude. But the situations I think are very similar. But maybe the comparison to Warner because of body type and offensive expectations is probably a better one, because Troy had even more than that, and greatness separates from all that. But I do and I will say this. I think Brock Purdy, and this is another good way to compare, plug him into most offenses. I don't think he's just a functionary. I think he would be successful in a variety of styles. I think he could do some other things that he doesn't have to do, because Kyle Shanahan is such an offensive kind of genius. So, yeah, he did land at the right place at the right time with the right guy, and 90% of success is just showing up. So I'll give him credit for just showing up. I mean, he's there and he did it.
He was one pick away from literally being Kurt Warner, right? One pick away from being undrafted like Kurt Warner. And so, again, Kurt took advantage of the opportunity and was remarkable. But, yeah, Mike Martz is to Kurt the way Kyle Shanahan is to Brock. Now, I wanted to touch on something very quickly.
I like that.
You mentioned Cowboy Blue. I think this is right up your alley. I think you're going to love this. A lot of people, some people, are saying that the Detroit Lions have already established that the 49ers are going to win the Super Bowl. Ask why.
That's why. They had the best third quarter. Why, RJ?
Well, so in the previous NFC Championship games that the 49ers have won the Super Bowl after, they have all been against teams that have a shade of blue in their color scheme. The Dallas Cowboys, the Chicago Bears, and the Rams franchise. All right. When the Niners have won NFC title games against those teams specifically, they went on to win the Super Bowl. Any instance in which the Niners won an NFC Championship game against a team that did not have blue as a part of their color scheme, like the Green Bay Packers or the Atlanta Falcons, they lost the Super Bowl. So there is a shade of blue within the Detroit Lions color scheme, which lends itself to the idea that destiny has already been written.
I remember, I think it was a Steve Young 49er team that went up against a Parcells Giants team in an NFC Championship game. And remember the game where they just destroyed the Giants? I think that was Parcells' last. Was it right about the end of his time there? It was.
I want to ask you a question, if you're okay with that.
I would. Well, it depends on the question, but fire away.
So you have an extensive. You know a lot of things about a lot of things, right? That's one of my favorite things about Robbie T, aka Robbie Kuzma. And I heard somebody say on Monday, it was Dan Hansis of the Around the NFL podcast, that the run that Taylor Swift is on, which isn't just the Super Bowl stuff. I mean, her tour this in 2023, right? Like, I mean, she's on an incredible
the likes of which haven't seen in years. Yeah.
Well, the proposition was that she's on, that this is the greatest pop culture run, and the Super Bowl has just kind of accentuated it all since Michael Jackson off the Thriller album.
There's one in between that I would put up there, and they're all equal. The Madonna run, when she was dealing with like Dennis Rodman and the series of guys that kind of passed through, and then the book and the movies and all that, that's about as white hot as you get. And the Michael Jackson prior to that was as white hot as you could get for that era. Madonna was for that era, but Taylor Swift puts those both to shame. There's never been anything like this. There'll be something like it again. I'm just saying, but this, when you combine just the sheer worldwide reach that is now available, then you combine the Twitter following, and then you combine it with the entity that is the NFL, that puts the NBA to shame. Even now, the likes of which, I mean, I'm sure Messi and things that he's done overseas, or Ronaldo, come close, but in America, we haven't seen anything like this before.
Well, and those things have been just, I mean, somewhat isolated to just the world of sport, right? What Taylor has done transcends sport, and like her accomplishments individually. I mean, again, just alone, her own individual accomplishments are, again, put all these things kind of, I wouldn't say to shame, but you get my point. And now, her connection to Travis, I mean, has just, I mean, I don't, again, this is the like most sort of intense pop culture-ness that any human being has ever sort of experienced.
And this isn't a culture war. Settle down. People, if you're upset that people are mad that Taylor Swift's on your TV, you need to take a chill pill too. Everybody just settle down.
I can't believe
this is part of the party.
People as irate about this, like, that are remotely bothered by this.
Like, on both sides.
I love epic things. I love big things. And so, like, this is just cool. It's crazy. It's awesome.
Can we pray that they get engaged at midfield after the game as the confetti falls? Can we just have? Can we all light a candle and let this happen for us?
Do you remember after Boise State beat Oklahoma?
Oh yeah, on the knee. Yeah. If we could,
like, It would be that, but like times a bajillion.
Oh,
Like, it would
it'll
be
be
crazy.
Princess Diana's wedding, man. It's been a long time. And there's a lot of us dudes that need a little bit of romance in the world, a little thing to help us along. And you'll bring I'm just saying, Travis, you could help. It's right around Valentine's Day. Let me
Travis
tell you,
Travis
bend
talking
the knee.
to Jim Nance,
Oh,
and he says,
hold on, Jim.
Yeah. Oh.
And then he turns to Taylor and takes the knee as the confetti is falling. You know the ripple effect to guys around the country for that? Can you imagine the discussions and what would go down on the baby boom in this country? The ripple effect of just one engagement across this country would be an economic boom to us all. I mean, we'd be having sex and buying baby clothes and strollers and minivans for years just because he wanted a bracelet, wanted to give her a bracelet.
I mean, the line would be from Travis, like, Jim, I know we're getting a ring and it's my third one, but I want to give somebody their first.
Please.
Come on.
It's for
we'll
all
be there
of us.
all week. We're here to write the speech.
Take one for the team, Travis.
Rob will pick the flower arrangement. But yeah, as pledge notes, it was Ian Johnson. I actually saw a thing. That couple is married and has children and everything now. Like, that was such a great moment, and that was the ultimate. Like, no way, like he's proposing. You know what I mean? Like, it was insane. So this would be that. I saw Will S. says, according to my Swiftie daughter, the wedding is planned for Disney World. I saw there are people who are buying Disney World tickets on the off chance that she's there after the Super Bowl.
Because the MVP gets to go. Hey, coming back. Hey, let's look at the standings and talk a little bit of Dallas Cowboys. We've got some strange sounds coming from Stephen Jones and his evident ignorance of the Detroit Lion roster and star players and how to acquire good guys. We're going to talk a lot about what we heard and what that means to your fandom with the Dallas Cowboys. Spurs went down hard. Did Chetty Osman put himself first and foremost on the trade deadline? Lots to talk about. Hang here. This is Rob and RJ. You're on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star. I got plans this afternoon for lunch. You can come meet me at Twin Peaks. I'll be over at Days of All and I-10 sometime this afternoon enjoying my lunch combo because, I watch my weight and I know I can walk into a Twin Peaks and the views, are going to be great. But how about the food? I get heart healthy combos put together with everything I want just at $7.99. They got the soups I love on cool, crisp days. The salads are always healthy and the sandwiches, man, they're big enough to satisfy anyone and stay healthy enough to keep you charging through your day. And that's just lunch. Hang around all afternoon because there'll be something on the TVs and the happy hour is soon to begin. And when that gets to happy hour, from 2 to 7, you get sweet deals, $1 off wine, liquor, and cheap shots, and freezing cold 29-degree cold brews. That's every day. Head over and enjoy all those spectacular eats. The happy hours at Twin Peaks are the best, and they got them early and they got them late. And when you get the food, it's coming out of the scratch-made kitchen. Head over to Twin Peaks, eats great, drinks are icy cold, but why do we go? I'll say it again. It's those scenic views.
It's The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2.
Coming up on The Blitz, so much still to digest from the AFC-NFC championship games, and the perfect person to ask those questions, Shireen Williams from Pro Football Talk.
Yeah, did Dan Campbell make the right calls or not? We'll get her opinion and a player's perspective as well as Indy Kalu joins us at 3:30. The Blitz starts at 2.
The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Hey, this is Rob Thompson here for Prize Picks. I want to tell you about Prize Picks. For those of you guys that like to play and watch games a lot of different ways, there's lots of different ways to enjoy it. I've been a fantasy football player since the very beginning. Heck, I made my bones playing fantasy football, and Prize Picks is the first one that truly suits me. If you're a DFS player, there's no better place to go than Prize Picks because my knowledge matters. This is a game of skill, and I'm not worried about entire teams. I'm worried about my favorite player, my team, my league. All I got to figure is where he might be, where she might be, pick over, under, combine them with other players, get some prize picks, get some fun, but at the same time, use my knowledge. It's Prize Picks, and if you go to prizepicks.com, throw the word Alamo in there for your little promo, I'll tell you what, you're going to make a little bit of extra, get a little bit going, but I'll tell you what, Prize Picks is the one place I have found I can take my fantasy love and take it to the game. That's Prize. Download today, use Alamo, and I know you're going to thank me later.
Injuries happen, and when they do, skip ER and get to the Ortho Now Injury Clinic by TSAOG Orthopedics and Spine. Ortho Now provides walk-in care for injuries like broken bones, dislocations, sprains, and strains. Conveniently located in the Corey area with extended hours Monday through Saturday with on-site x-ray casting and bracing, Ortho Now has everything you need to treat your injury, and best of all, no urgent care or emergency room copay. Learn more online at tsaog.com.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. Go ahead, feel your engine. Admire that perfectly installed exhaust. Your vehicle's moving along this freeway like it was made from fresh installs and a whole lot of love. With eBay Motors, you get over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
You know that Big Bargain detergent jug is 80% water, right?
80% water? I thought I was getting a better deal because it's so big.
If you want a better clean, Tide Pods are only 12% water. The rest is pure concentrated cleaning ingredients.
Ooh, pass me the intercom thingy.
Attention shoppers, if you want a real deal, try Tide Pods.
Don't pay for water, pay for clean. If it's got to be clean, it's got to be Tide Pods.
Water content based on the leading bargain liquid detergent.
Show your love this Valentine's with exquisite fashion jewelry from Diamonds Direct and save an extra 20%. Now through Valentine's, all fashion favorites at Diamonds Direct are on sale. All earrings, all bracelets, all necklaces, stackable bands, colored gemstone jewelry, and more. Lots of romantic and timeless gifts for under $500. Special financing available too. Don't miss this. An extra 20% savings on all fashion jewelry favorites at Diamonds Direct. Shop in store or online at diamondsdirect.com. Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion.
Flight by Yingling is the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yingling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass, raise the bar. Flight by Yingling. Available wherever beer is sold. DG Yingling and Son Incorporated, Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
Eczema flaring up again? We have good news. Exoderm. If you or someone you love suffers from eczema or dermatitis, get Exoderm, the common sense answer for eczema. This stuff really does work. Exoderm contains the #1 doctor-recommended ingredient in a clean hypoallergenic cream with no harsh additives. Take back control of your eczema with affordable, fast-acting Exoderm Flare Control Cream. Exoderm. It's in the first aid aisle of your local Walmart, H-E-B, and other fine stores.
Super Bowl 58 in Vegas is set. It's the Chiefs and Niners. Hear it right here on your exclusive home for the Super Bowl. 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
All your big game coverage, LV Triple I to you and I. He is RJ Ochoa. I'm Rob Thompson. I want to give away some tickets real fast. It's called the Australian Pink Floyd for a reason. I don't know what that reason is. I guess they're from Australia, but we got tickets for you. It must be a big deal because they're coming to a beautiful place. It's at the Techport on August the 22nd. So that's Australian Pink Floyd. You know what? This sounds like it might be a good evening. If you want to go, get on your device, 656-3776, 656 ESPN. And you too will be amongst the many at the Techport at the Australian Pink Floyd show. This is a Live Nation joint. If you want more details, go to livenation.com. You ready for another hour of spectacularly entertaining radio?
I'm ready for 2.
Well, let's one step after another, right? We have to take that first step. So we'll offer you the next one. Coming up, Stephen Jones has been accused of many things. We're going to accuse him of something else.
Oh, we're going to accuse.
Is it ignorance or apathy? I don't know, and I don't care. We'll be right back. You're on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. See what I did there?
Check out the Jim Rome Show, weekdays at noon.
If you're San Antonio, there are benefits that come along with it. I will cut you the front of the line. We're going to hype the return.
On 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Hi, I'm Henry Winkler. My eyes are very important to me. My eyes connect me with things I love. I loved my late father-in-law dearly. He always lit up a room, but his vision dimmed with age. He had age-related macular degeneration, or AMD. And since partnering with Apellis, I've learned there's an advanced form of the disease called geographic atrophy, or GA. His struggle with vision loss made me want to help others know about GA's warning signs. For some, straight lines seem wavy, like when looking at a door frame. For others, blurry or missing spots can make it hard to read or see loved ones' faces. Many have trouble seeing in low light, making driving at night difficult. GA gets worse over time and cannot be reversed. If you've been diagnosed with AMD and notice vision changes, don't wait. Talk to your eye doctor about GA today. Learn more at GAWon'tWait.com. That's GAWon'tWait.com.
Are you tired of going to the dentist over and over again? Hi, I'm Dr. Andrew Mueller, Chief Oral Surgeon at Doctor's Implants.
We have put a lot of money into fixing my teeth over and over and over again, a filling or a crown or a this or that.
At Doctor's Implants, replacing your teeth with full mouth dental implants might be the long-term solution you're looking for.
The 6-Hour Smile is a permanent full mouth teeth replacement. Your new smile will be custom designed to fit your face and lifestyle and will look and function just like regular teeth. You won't need to remove them from your mouth overnight, and you won't need adhesive to keep them in place. Eat freely and smile confidently again. Research them at doctorsimplants.com. Receive a complimentary doctor's consultation and CT scan when you call 210-640-0000. Again, that's 210-640-0000.
Mother 6-Hour Smile.
My friend and I are taking a trip to Mexico this year, but neither of us speak Spanish. So we downloaded Babbel and started learning Spanish fast.
Want to start getting conversational in another language? In as little as 3 weeks, Babbel's quick 10-minute lessons were designed by language experts to be the most efficient and effective way to learn a new language.
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿Cómo te llamas? Babbel, language for life. Celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Go to Babbel.com and start learning a new language today. That's Babbel.com.
When something happens to your car, you might say, but what you really need to say is something that can actually help.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
And just like that, State Farm is there to help you file your claim right on the State Farm mobile app. So just remember, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
State Farm, Bloomington, Illinois.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Texting enrolls for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop, opt out. Go to nomoredraftywindows.com for full offer details.
Attention all homeowners. Do you know when to replace your windows? Feeling too hot or cold? It's time to replace. Fog between the glass. Time to replace. Spending too much on expensive energy that literally goes out the window? It's definitely time to replace. If you've put off replacing windows in your home because it's too expensive, here's great news. You can now get a free in-home window consultation and free price quote from Renewal by Andersen, the company with the most 5-star reviews among leading full-service window replacement companies. And right now, you can save $359 off every window and $887 off every door. Just text RENEWAL to 200-300 for your free consultation on top-quality affordable windows or patio doors for no dollars down, no payments, and no interest for a year. That's right. You don't pay a dime for an entire year. Plus, save $359 off every window and $887 off every door. But hurry, these big dollar savings end this month. Text RENEWAL to 200-300 right now. Text the word RENEWAL to 200-300. Don't wait. Text RENEWAL to 200-300.
KTFM Floresville. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, your home for the Aggies. San Antonio's Sports Center.
Dallas Cowboys defensive coordinator Dan Quinn has his second interview with the Washington Commanders today. He's looking for a new head coaching job. It could be there, it could be the Seahawks. We eagerly await the outcome. Houston Texans QB coach Jared Johnson might get a raise. He's meeting today with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to be their offensive coordinator.
This is R&R in the morning.
Man in motion, handoff, Pollard coming right. Bang, zoom, touchdown Cowboys. Yama about 3 feet behind the line. Got it.
It's R&R in the morning with Rob Thompson and the managing editor of Blogging the Boys, RJ Ochoa.
Good morning.
Hey, good morning to you. That's RJ Ochoa. I hear tell he's the managing editor of a thing called Blogging the Boys. We quite enjoy it. We're glad he's here with us today. I'm Rob Thompson, sitting comfortably in an air-conditioned studio, which is something different than we had to deal with yesterday. And got Easy E on the other side of the double pane glass and the DH in front of me. Saving Private Ryan, all right here. Life is good for me and mine. How's everybody doing today?
Could be worse.
Could be raining.
I'm adding some captioning to the TVs here. That's what I'm doing.
Are you a closed caption type?
No,
I'm not either.
Not generally. But here's the thing, Rob. Doing a radio show every morning, and so can't listen. So I can read. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think you or anybody wants the audio of all the things that I'm watching in the background.
Sometimes it's better than us. So
that's true.
You never know.
Way to go, Rob, promoting a different show.
I didn't say what show. Just said any show.
But yeah, so got closed captioning, and I just learned something, if I may. So I am a Fubo customer, not an ad, just a very satisfied customer.
I'm mostly satisfied. It's the least intuitive of all the streaming apps, but it's got the good stuff, so I'm down.
Completely disagree. That's the worst thing.
Why does it ask me twice to watch something when I'm coming off the guide? If I'm looking at the guide and I go, I want to watch that, and then I hit it and they go, do you want to watch it live? Well, yeah, I'd like to watch it. That's why I pressed the button. So I have to press the button twice to watch something. They should ask me after I've already started. I start. They go, hey, would you like to start from the beginning? Oh yeah, I might. See, that's my only issue with Fubo.
So what I love about Fubo is I watch it on an Apple TV, the device.
See, that's fancy.
And so it allows me. I showed you this. It allows me to watch up to 4 screens at once on a singular TV. Now, everybody thinks that YouTube TV invented this. Fubo allows you to pick whatever channels you want. You can put any channels you want. You can put 4 sports channels, 4 non-sports channels. Up to you. So I turned on the captions, and it's captioning each one. That is super cool. I thought when I turned the captions on, it would only caption one of them. Baby, we're getting all 4 captions. What a time to be alive.
It's the bandwidth. It reminds me of, remember when Bloomberg TV first hit and they had the scrolls from every market? Yes, they do. They do. Well, back in the day, it's like information overload. There's a lot of stuff going on that one small TV that I can't handle. So no, I don't do that. But you are digitally advanced.
Have you ever seen people say like, oh, kids nowadays find out that school's canceled with a text message? I had to wake up and watch the news like the NFL draft. That's the bottom ticker.
It's true. You were just hoping for your school district to scroll across, baby. It was a long way.
Speaking of the draft, do you think Stephen Jones has ever woken up and looked for school district names on the bottom of a ticker?
Let's talk about this, because this is something that, you're always looking for something in the media to feed the narrative. Like this is this, so let's find out more reasons to justify the narrative.
Stephen Jones
but what I'm getting at here is, I have so many justifiable qualms with Stephen Jones and the job he has done as the what exactly is his title? He's the
executive vice president of the Dallas Cowboys. Stephen Jones.
He's the EVP. Second in command.
Despite not getting the junior name
from
his father.
But you talking about Jerry or Stephen?
I think it's weird that he doesn't have it. I've never known anybody like that who is the eldest boy but has a younger brother who got the junior.
Yeah, well, other than from The Office, but the idea of Stephen as an inadequate talent acquirer, I think, has some merit. I think there's some, over the years, there's talent that's floated around, and for whatever reason, the Cowboys haven't acquired it. Ignorance or apathy, I don't know. But there's a story floating around from a former employee of DallasCowboys.com. That began yesterday. RJ explained the situation we find ourselves.
So Kent Garrison effectively ran DallasCowboys.com's production of things like their podcasts and videos and live shows, including everything they do relative to the NFL draft. And there's a lot that goes into that. The Cowboys effectively record everything because they create content out of it. And every NFL team does this, obviously. Like the calls you see, hey, Rob, love you to be a Cowboy. And then the family in the back, it's the Cowboy, right? So all that stuff is recorded. So Kent now works for The Athletic and was on The Athletic's About Them Cowboys podcast with John Machota and told a funny story that has people all up in a tizzy.
Let's listen to this.
Will's got a lot to say.
That reminded me of something. When I worked there, one of my favorite parts was after the draft, going through all the tape of the draft and seeing who called them, because it's all recorded, like all the trade requests and all that. It's all just seeing, all that, like so stuff they turned down, when they could
seeing or listening,
seeing and listening. Because it's all the phone lines are, if you watch the secret audio, the phone lines are all connected in through the cameras too. So
did the Lions ever try and offer him Stafford?
I'm just kidding. I know another line saying that I'm not going to mention specifics about, but there was a call about the Lions from the Lions during this time. And
Calvin Johnson,
the Lions called him and offered him somebody, and Steven was like, "Who is that?" And I mean, it was a pretty decent name, and he was like, "Who?" And the Lions
Megatron.
He's blah blah blah, and they explained who it is. He's like, "Oh, we'll call you back." And Steven just like hangs up the phone and just sits there and keeps watching the draft. Doesn't even tell anyone that somebody called. Doesn't even ask Will who this guy is. And then the guy calls back like 5 minutes later. It's like, "Hey, did you think about that?" And he's like, "Yeah, no, bye."
What do you take? What do you believe that he didn't know? And first of all, give us a time frame. This guy worked with the Cowboys when
2013 to 2019.
So a 6-year period. At some point during the draft, the Lions called, and at the very least brought up a player that, according to this guy, Steven didn't know who he was.
Very, very, very quickly, the inference is that the Lions offered the Cowboys a player on the Lions,
right?
And that Stephen Jones did not know who it was. That would. See, like, I don't think it would be like if you called Arthur Blank, the owner of the Falcons, and you were like, "Hey, dude, do you know who
Nnamdi Asomugha?" Like who?
Well, I mean, that's an interesting example. I was gonna say like Kwity Paye is. I think
notice
Arthur's
the names we chose.
Well, I mean, I chose an active NFL player.
Well, I chose one that was like a name that you go that is unique and singular. Like,
I mean, Nnamdi is one of the most famous names in the NFL. Also, a co-star of Friday Night Lights. I don't know if you knew that. But anyway, if you hit up Arthur Blank and we're like, "Yo, what do you think of Kwity Paye?" I think he'd be like, "Who's that?" Like, I've never heard of that human being, because that's not his job to know, right? He's just the owner of the Falcons. That's not the case here with Stephen Jones.
So,
he's supposed to know these things, and I completely believe that he doesn't. I completely believe this.
Okay, I'm going to disagree that he didn't know, because I don't. There's a reason why this kind of conversation isn't allowed in a courtroom, because I can't get the inference. I don't know what was said on the other side of the phone. And if there is a tape, what was said? Why didn't he say, this guy, I'm telling you, did not know who it was? He didn't just go, who? He went, who? When? No, went further than just, who's that? No, hang up.
I think at this point, yeah, like enough of the story was told to where like 70% of it is out of the can. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you might as well just say the name at this point. Like, if you're going to offer all these details, you might as well just say the exact name.
And I wouldn't want to. Who's the guy from the Cowboys.com? Because I feel like I know him. If I saw Garrison. I would recognize him. I wouldn't want to be Kent Garrison in North Dallas today.
I mean, yeah.
The Jerry Jones undercover types are looking for you, man.
But I totally believe it. I mean, they are a conservative team. They have been for the last almost, call it 12 years now. The last big free agent decision they made was Brandon Carr. They kind of get by. What is it? They get along with getting along. I mean, that's kind of how they roll. And
okay, I was having this conversation yesterday, and I'm not here to defend where the Cowboys are. I'm really not.
A sports conversation without me.
I was, but it wasn't a good one because you weren't there. But the thought was, we were talking about this, not so much about Steven's, foibles, but why the Cowboys don't have free agents. And the idea was about, this is the guy works with money or numbers. So, well, I think isn't some of it they just don't have the money to pay these guys? Like they spend so much money in-house on guys that don't deserve it, that when you are truly searching for some of the talent, the ones that they're swinging for ain't going to come because they don't got the money.
They have the money.
Okay, but I agree. Always find it. It's always in the cushions. But there is a defense that says we pay our guys. We are built, not bought. That's not true. If it was, we would acknowledge it. But there is the defense that they're trying to do it that way.
This isn't the 2013 NBA Finals where you have to pick a side of that argument, right? Like
Right.
you can be both. You like you can build and buy. It's okay. Like no, even to that point, I mean, that was Mario Chalmers' team. Like he was, built by the Heat. Right? Like if you're really picking, tiny little examples or whatever, like you can be both. And to that point, like he was a valuable part of that team. I mean, so like you have to have elements of both. You cannot be just built. You cannot. Even the Green Bay Packers, who forever were like, oh, we're so pretentious that we don't ever like. By the way, that is the biggest cover story that the Packers ever got anybody to believe, that they just weren't interested in free agency.
Just no one would go.
No one is interested in living in Green Bay. That's what it is. So like, great spin job, but like,
well, no, I think they faced the reality that no one's coming. We better build well.
So they did, but even they, have dabbled. Even they have signed, now we're talking a little bit while ago, but Julius Peppers was an example. I mean, Reggie White, was kind of the
catalyst. He changed the league. A weird move. Yeah.
Well, he modernized the Packers in terms of like this century for the most part. And so that was a free agent decision. Even Brett Favre was a trade acquisition, right? Like, and so you got to do both. You have to do both.
Okay, so do you believe that Steven doesn't know the talent around the league? Do you think that there's a possibility that above and beyond the stars that make the paper, that Steven doesn't know guys that even the most basic fantasy football player would know?
I wouldn't go that far. The way I would deem it is if you took the 32 people in the NFL who hold that job that Steven does, who hold the responsibilities that Steven does relative to the Cowboys, I think he is among the least equipped. I mean, because other people, it's their job. It's their
why do you think he's the least equipped?
Because it's the other people's jobs and livelihood, and they've been raised in that, and they've been scouts, and they've been on the road, and they've been in Holidays Inn and La Quintas, and middle of nowhere Alabama and Iowa, and they've gone to Wichita State, and they've woken up at 2 a.m. and gotten the coffee in the lobby to go scout a player and who knows where, and they've kind of built relationships and developed things and moved along and understand the culture of everything involved. So they know that sometimes you have to go down to Western Lafayette to scout this player and see what he's all about, or talk to his college roommate or the person he worked with down at the movie theater to figure out who his personality is. That has not been the life of Steven Jones. I don't think it's fair to always say things like he was born on third base or with a silver spoon in his mouth or whatever the case may be. But, I mean, he came into the NFL and inherited this role. And that's happened before, not just in football and the NFL, but in sports in general and in a lot of professional aspects of life. But, I mean, I do think that makes him – he's less hungry for this than a lot of other people. And this is a survival is the fittest sort of proposition.
There are no ramifications for poor performance.
Yeah.
Steven Jones.
No, you turned down the Lions player, hypothetically, and he wound up being an all-pro, whatever the case may be, in shucks. It really sucked. You know what I mean? Like, what is the cost? I mean,
I will buy some of this. I will buy some of it. But at some point, the narrative that the Cowboys are free spending, free agent magnets, how does that continue to exist? Because we don't foster it. And everybody who follows the Cowboys knows that they don't bring in free agent acquisitions. So why do we keep expecting it when nobody expects it of Cincinnati? Nobody expects it of a lot of teams. They're not looking at them to go get free agents, but for the Cowboys, they're expected to do it, yet they haven't. Why this? Why do we expect something that never was a thing anyway?
Because they're the national hype machine. They're the national media darling. They're the national news generator. They're the straw that stirs the drink. And so I think oftentimes it's wise of agents or, whoever to connect their clients or their clientele to the Cowboys. That helps a lot, right? I mean, one of the players that I'm simply guessing could have been, the would-be Lions player is Ndamukong Suh. Every time Ndamukong Suh has been a free agent, he's been connected to the Cowboys.
He has been.
Why? Because it pays.
It would fit.
To the
Do you think that was so? You think that was manufactured by his agent, not by the Cowboys with genuine interest?
I can name 500 people in the last 3 off seasons who have been connected to the Cowboys that wound up nowhere near them. Za'Darius Smith and Ndamukong Suh. How many times was Jamal Adams or Earl Thomas or all these different players? I mean, it's because when your name is connected to the Cowboys, there are all sorts of blogging the voices out there that are, I'd like to think, good at what they do, and they will talk about it. They will create conversation about it. That simply doesn't exist on the same level with the aforementioned Cincinnati Bengals.
But is that Stephen Jones's fault that we decided that Wheeler Dealers, and he gets a call from some guy from DallasCowboys.com witnesses, Stephen Jones, who knows my team doesn't make deals. We don't look for deals. We're not even trying to get deals. So you're calling me to make a deal.
Why?
I ain't listening. That's who we are.
Like, back to that conversation. What on earth makes you so, like, what gives you the right to be that pretentious to say we don't make?
Well, that's the biggest concern, right?
What level of success are you, referencing to where you're too good for that? We had an article go out yesterday at bloggingtheboys.com. Speaking of one of our writers, OCC, who's German, by the way. Speaking of international stuff, Rob Arsenal plays today, so you got to get on.
Oh, really?
You
need to don my cannon.
Yeah. So, but OCC wrote about how since Bill Parcells' staff, which produced a lot of head coaches in the NFL after they, left the Cowboys have had 3 staffers, 3 go on to become head coaches in the NFL. One of whom was Jason Garrett. So one of them was literally an in-house promotion, and the other was just an interim job that Joe DeCamillis got. The third person who went on to get a head coaching job was Matt Eberflus, who I love, but it's not necessarily the.
You always did like Eberflus.
Yeah,
you were on him early.
There's not a lot of people now who are like, oh, what a great coach. I mean, which bums me out. But still, I mean, the point is like, they're not like churning through talent, you know what I mean, on the coaching staff. Like, it's all conservative. There's a reason why the lone name that they have been connected to, if Dan Quinn were to hypothetically move on, is a retread, is Ron Rivera. Is Ron Rivera going to go on to become a head coach after his time with the Cowboys if he does hypothetically join the team? No, of course not. This is a dead on arrival proposition. This is everyone's just coming here to hang out, chill, coach some games. We'll scream at some dudes. We'll be on, Fox's America's Game of the Week 14 times throughout the year. We'll be CBS's main game the one time they're able to pull us. We'll get all the national primetime games. We'll have our Thanksgiving Day celebration. Somebody put a turkey or stuffing or cornbread or whatever the case may be in the kettle. We'll do the same song and dance we've been doing for damn near 3 decades at this point in time, and nothing will ever change. You are not good enough to thumb your nose at any aspect or element of roster building, Stephen Jones. You are the eldest boy. Get to work.
Hey, coming up, the Spurs showed us exactly who they are.
Oh my gosh,
right?
now we have to talk about these
last
guys.
Night,
Oh.
They did manage to snatch defeat from the jaws of victory. We'll look at how they managed to do that against a team literally worse than they are. We're going to make our comparisons coming up next, as the Super Bowl is next week, though, within the week for us, as we were heading to Las Vegas on Sunday to give you everything that you deserve as football fans. Let's compare the quarterbacks. Where does young Brock Purdy sit in the grand line of quarterbacks? Is he near Mahomes or is he nearer to Kurt Warner? We'll talk about it next. You're on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
The NFL playoffs are here.
Read all about it, baby. One last drive.
Wild card, divisional, conference championship, and Super Bowl 58 in Las Vegas. Hear it on your exclusive home for the NFL playoffs and the Super Bowl. 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
My brother-in-law died suddenly, and now my sister and her kids have to sell their home. That's why I told my husband we could not put off getting life insurance any longer. An agent offered us a 10-year, $500,000 policy for nearly $50 a month. Then we called SelectQuote. SelectQuote found us identical coverage for only $19 a month, a savings of $369 a year.
Whether you need a $500,000 policy or a $5 million policy, SelectQuote could save you more than 50% on term life insurance.
For your free quote, call SelectQuote at 1-800-737-9944. That's 1-800-737-9944. Or go to SelectQuote.com. 1-800-737-9944. That's 1-800-737-9944.
SelectQuote. We shop. You save. Full details on example policies at selectquote.com/commercial.
Now is the best time to buy a Connecticut water softener. With current models being closed out to make way for the new ones, you can save big. Call Connecticut at 656-PURE and tell them Dave Ramsey sent you. That's 656-PURE.
Jason Minix here. Guys, your testosterone levels start to decline in your 30s. If you're feeling a lack of energy and drive, it could be caused by low T. Get your levels tested at Synergenics. They make it quick and easy, and with the convenience of their on-site lab, you'll get your results back at your first visit. At Synergenics, you will get customized care from testosterone specialists. Conquer your New Year's resolutions. Go to fixmylowt.com to book online. That's fixmylowt.com. We are down to the big game in the football season, and you could still play along at Underdog Fantasy. Jason Minix here from the Blitz. I love playing the Pick'em game at Underdog Fantasy, where you pick between 2 and 5 players and select whether they will go higher or lower their predicted stats. And if your picks hit, you can win up to 100 times your money in a single night. It is a fantasy game that is legal in Texas and certainly makes watching the games a lot more fun. Get in the game now. Go to their easy-to-use mobile app or go to UnderdogFantasy.com. Sign up with my promo code STAR, and Underdog will match your first deposit up to $100, and you're ready for the big game. Plus, they'll give you a special pickup higher than a half total yards to use on your first pick'em entry. UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code STAR. Must be over 18 and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org.
There's never any FOMO with the iHeartRadio app. You won't ever have to miss out on your favorite shows and contests with this radio station again. Radio 24/7, 365. We're here when you want us. Stay connected and listen anywhere when you download the free iHeartRadio app.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health San Antonio will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 210-615-7777. That's 210-615-7777. Or visit revivemenshealth.com.
This is Andrew Monaco, and you're listening to the home of the Aggies, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Hey, huddle up. Gather around. We got things to talk about. How's that coffee, RJ Ochoa? Oh, that tea with honey and lemon. I can't smell it.
No, this is coffee, but there will be tea. I'm gonna drink so much tea in Las Vegas. You have no idea.
You're gonna throw down.
It might be honey. It might be agave. I really haven't decided yet.
Oh,
so I'm willing to let you influence that decision.
You are a tea drinker. We're dancing around this, but you're. I'm not calling you a tea sip. That's the worst we can do. But you're a tea drinker,
right? I mean, look, I do a lot of talking for a living. Very grateful for that. But that comes with some wear and tear. I mean, this beautiful baritone voice doesn't nurse itself.
You're
You know
right.
what I'm saying? Like,
pipes are built, not bought.
What's the hottest thing you drink on a regular basis?
The hottest thing?
Yeah, because you're not a coffee person.
Not really, no. But when I do, that's it. I don't drink tea. I like hot tea.
Hot water? You're not just chugging boiling water on
No,
a
I
regular
don't
basis?
do that unless I warm up my Red Diamond sweet tea.
How about cider? Because one time when I went to a Super Bowl with you, you had a cider.
I did. I didn't like
and
it.
you broke a glass.
No, I'm not a cider
As a
guy.
result of it was a fit of rage that
It
you were
was
in.
a violent rage that I now this was in Georgia. This was the Atlanta Super Bowl. Correct.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Which I believe was the Super Bowl that Kristaps was traded to Dallas during?
I
was that?
think it might have been
Sure.
that Super Bowl. Sadly, the Super Bowl as it lands, right during trade deadline and other stuff. I was in Miami when I heard about Kobe, and then those
Right.
two moments will forever be intertwined in my life. I'm going to give you a statement. Brock Purdy is the best quarterback in the NFC.
Is that you're telling me you're going to give me the statement?
That's a statement. Agree, disagree. Give me, if I'm focusing this, turn your meter. Am I moving the meter when I say that? Are you angry when I say that? Are you going, yeah, he is. Brock Purdy is the best quarterback in the NFC.
Here's the reality with Brock Purdy that people don't want to come to terms with. He is very good. He is better than most are willing to give him credit for. He is not the best quarterback in the NFC. If you held the draft and stripped away contractual elements and it was simply a talent-based thing, even just among NFC quarterbacks, I don't think he goes top 5 right now. From a production, from a team accomplishment standpoint, there's no question that his team is the very best in the NFC. It's a team game, the NFL. But he is elevated by them. He elevates things in ways that his predecessors with that team could not. He wears the suit better than most. I mean, he is Jim Carrey with the mask, right? The people who preceded him didn't necessarily kind of rock out the same way. So he deserves credit for that. But in whatever order you'd like.
Is it because he doesn't run like Hurts? He doesn't throw like him. He's not tall like that. He doesn't do like that. But if you're second and third on every ballot with no ones and no fives, doesn't that add up to being the best?
I don't think he has any fives. I mean, or ones, excuse me. I think he's physically limited, but has a staff and a set of talent around him to where everyone is able to take advantage of that, including himself. I think he understands and knows and lives within his limitations, and that sounds like a demerit, but it's not. But if you're simply evaluating them as prospects in terms of athletic ability, Dak Prescott ranks above him. Again, not necessarily, in this order in terms of other players. Jalen Hurts, I think, ranks above him. Jordan Love ranks above him. Matthew Stafford ranks above him. Kirk Cousins ranks above him. I mean, the thing, if you're going to give Brock Purdy a 1.
You lined up a bunch of losers down there.
A bunch of losers?
You lined up a bunch of losers. A bunch of dudes that have gotten really close to the finish line. A lot of people looked at it.
The thing that I would give Brock a 1 in is mental processing. There's no doubt about it. And that's why he can wear the mask, right? That's why he can take advantage of it in ways. He is the peak F1 driver. Most F1 drivers aren't like physical marvels, right? But they have this mental processing that is just different than most human beings.
Well said.
And so that's who Brock Purdy is. But even Kyler Murray, I think, is more athletically gifted than Brock Purdy. And that's not saying that Brock sucks. That's just saying he's not the athletic marvel that other quarterbacks in the NFC are.
This is what Ryan Clark has to say about young Mr. Purdy.
When you look at what Brock Purdy was able to do, Brock Purdy has separated himself from Dak Prescott. Brock Purdy has separated himself from Tua Tagovailoa. Brock Purdy has separated himself from guys like Kirk Cousins, from guys like Justin Herbert. He was asked in the most pressurized moment to be the best he could possibly be. And Brock Purdy won the football game. Down 17. We always ask our best players to show up in the most important times. We can't continue to knock the Josh Allens, knock the Lamar Jacksons, knock the Dak Prescotts, and not praise Brock Purdy for doing the very thing we ask all of them to do. Does this mean that he's in the top 3 of quarterback talents, that I believe he's an elite quarterback? No, but he better than all them.
He brought it back, but not very far. Ryan Clark yesterday on the get-ups.
Are we going to give Brock Purdy credit for Jahmyr Gibbs' fumble? Are we going to give Brock Purdy credit for Josh Reynolds dropping the first 4th down? Are we going to give Brock Purdy credit for Dan Campbell going for the second 4th down? Are we going to give Brock Purdy credit for the interception that he threw that bounced off the Lions defender's face mask
That
and
was
coincidentally into the
miracle.
hands of Brandon Ayuk? I mean, like, that's all part of the 17-point comeback. And so it can be true that Brock Purdy has taken proper advantage and gotten lucky in ways that maybe other quarterbacks haven't. But we don't have to sit here and act like Brock Purdy authored the 17-point comeback. It took a cataclysmic collapse, a Spursian collapse against the Washington Wizards from the Detroit Lions to ultimately allow for this to happen. And the week before against the Packers, Brock Purdy was horrible. I mean, they've played 2 playoff games, and I would offer he's played maybe a full quarter and a half of really good football through 8 of them.
Can I ask you? I'm with you. I stand with you firmly on about 60% of this. But to bring you along with me, because I'm giving him credit, I think, a lot more than you are.
I want to give him credit.
I know you do.
I mean, we don't have to do
that's
it.
my next question.
To
so
act
what
like
will
he
it
separated
take
himself from Justin Herbert is insane.
For you to start to agree with me that he is closer, and I'll give you your example than mine, because I think your example is far better. That he's closer to Kurt Warner than he is Kirk Cousins.
Well, I mean, but that is a representation of his team success. He's closer to Kurt Warner because.
But if he wins one, then he gets to put on the gold jacket, and then he gets all the accolades. Until he wins one, isn't he just Kirk Cousins with a better cast?
Yes, but I don't think he's, again, these are separate questions. He's had more team success than Kirk Cousins, but he's not as individually talented as Kirk Cousins.
He's not?
No, no. We've seen this over Kirk's career. I mean, he's not as individually talented. Who are you taking as a far and superior athlete? Maybe Kirk's not the best example, but Matthew Stafford. You taking Stafford or Brock Purdy right now? You're the GM of the Atlanta Falcons.
Which Stafford am I getting? His age or
today?
Same age?
You're the GM of the Atlanta
Purdy
Falcons.
Stafford.
Okay, I think you're ridiculous and silly, and I wouldn't share my tea with you if I could. Are you taking Purdy or Jordan Love?
Oh, Love.
Purdy or Jalen Hurts?
Hurts.
Purdy or Dak Prescott?
Purdy.
I think you know that you're being ridiculous. Purdy or Justin Herbert?
I do not know that.
The Justin Herbert thing is ridiculous. I don't mean to liken the two,
No,
but that's like you're like Rob.
I like
you're
Purdy. I'd take him over Herbert.
I'm starving, RJ. I'm starving. What do you got on the grill for me? Well, Rob, I have a Wagyu steak right here or a hot dog. You're like, give me that hot dog. that's what I want right now. I don't even need the bun.
Wait a minute. Oh, no, you're comparing Purdy's the hot dog to.
It annoys me greatly
So
how people over exaggerate how great Justin Herbert is, and people assign. And people do not give Justin Herbert any sort of like credit for the failures of the Chargers during his time there. That annoys me greatly. That being said, objectively, he is a significantly superior athlete and prospect and quarterback prospect in general from an individual talent standpoint than Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy deserves full, total, absolute, complete credit for taking advantage of the situations around him, which includes a very talented team, the most talented offensive play caller in the NFL, and in the case of the most recent example of a game that he played, a complete and total collapse from the team that he was playing against. Are we not going to say that he was down 17 points? Are we not going to give him any sort of criticism for that? Are we not going to kill him for the horrible interception that he threw? I mean, like, no, we're just going to act like the 51-yard completion to Brandon Ayuk was Brock Purdy delivering in the clutch like Joe Montana, despite the fact that it literally bounced off of a defender's face mask.
It still was a delivery at the end of the day. And you're right.
I think that you deserve hot dogs. That's what
I want a Wagyu hot dog if there's such a thing. Hey, coming back, is Chetty Osman our Wagyu hot dog? Hey, we'll talk about it. Is he going to stay around past the trade deadline? The Spurs go down in glorious fashion last night. We'll look at what Chetty Osman had to do and whether he deserves to be freed. We're talking about those silver and black in all honesty coming up next. This is R&R, and you're on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. I talked to so many people during the week about a Rosti, and the question is always, what is it? What are you talking about, and why does it work? I'll tell you what I can tell you a Rosti isn't. A Rosti providers don't talk about surgery. That's not what they do. They don't dispense a whole bunch of pills to dull or hide pain that you're trying to get fixed. That's not what they do. They use your body to fix itself, and there's a bunch of stuff going on there. Chiropractic, physical therapy, your general practitioner, all that stuff rolled in to getting you out of pain. Let me tell you, it works. I've had lower back pains most of my adult life for a lot of reasons. I just thought it was back pain. The first time I walked in, they said, it's not your back, it's your hamstrings. They fixed the problem. The pain went away. And I'll tell you what, I've been a ongoing customer ever since, because not only did they get me fixed and get me fixed fast, they taught me how to get it out of pain, to stop it before it even occurs. And that's why I love about Arasti. They're all around San Antonio. They accept my insurance. They do accept most. And you don't need a referral to go. What are you waiting on? Write this number down. It's 1-800-404-6050. Listen close. Don't let pain keep you from doing things that you love. You can get it fixed. It's out there. It's called Arasti. Call them today. Let them take care of you. And when they do, I'm sure you're going to thank me later.
It's The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2.
Coming up on The Blitz, so much still to digest from the AFC, NFC championship games, and the perfect person to ask those questions, Shireen Williams from Pro Football Talk.
Yeah, did Dan Campbell make the right calls or not? We'll get her opinion and a player's perspective as well, as Indy Kalu joins us at 3:30. The Blitz starts at 2.
The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Get the appliances you need right away at Lowe's. Explore the largest assortment of brands you trust, like Whirlpool, Samsung, and LG, in-store or online at the best values. Plus, take advantage of our everyday financing offers on top items, from refrigerators to laundry pairs. And there's more. Get your new appliances delivered or installed quickly at your convenience. Because Lowe's knows appliances, Lowe's knows home improvement. Subject to credit approval.
At Taco Bell, we like to keep mornings simple because before 11 a.m., you're not down for whatever.
No.
You're not interested in trying new things.
No.
You want a breakfast that's toned down and delicious, like the Breakfast Crunch Wrap with fluffy eggs, sausage, melty cheese, and a crispy hash brown and a grilled tortilla.
I want to eat that.
See? You may not be a morning person, but it's morning, and you're a person. Taco Bell breakfast, served until 11 a.m. At participating Taco Bell stores during breakfast hours only while supplies last.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
We're from Washington. We love Febrez's new scent. Refresh and energize.
So much we made a song about it.
I can't escape this feeling inside. Refresh and energize. It's a mood, it's a vibe. Breathing for the first time. So free, so alive. Breathe happy for free. Smells like paradise. Breathe happy for free. La, 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 la.
Hey, this is Rob Thompson here for Prize Picks. I want to tell you about Prize Picks. For those of you guys that like to play and watch games a lot of different ways, there's lots of different ways to enjoy it. I've been a fantasy football player since the very beginning. Heck, I made my bones playing fantasy football, and Prize Picks is the first one that truly suits me. If you're a DFS player, there's no better place to go than Prize Picks because my knowledge matters. This is a game of skill, and I'm not worried about entire teams. I'm worried about my favorite player, my team, my league. All I got to figure is where he might be, where she might be, pick over, under, combine them with other players, get some prize picks, get some fun, but at the same time, use my knowledge. It's Prize Picks, and if you go to prizepicks.com, throw the word Alamo in there for your little promo, I'll tell you what, you're going to make a little bit of extra, get a little bit going, but I'll tell you what, Prize Picks is the one place I have found I can take my fantasy love and take it to the game. That's Prize Pick. Download today, use Alamo, and I know you're going to thank me later.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Texting enrolls for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop, opt out. Go to nomoredraftywindows.com for full offer details.
Attention all homeowners. Do you know when to replace your windows? Feeling too hot or cold? It's time to replace. Fog between the glass. Time to replace. Spending too much on expensive energy that literally goes out the window? It's definitely time to replace. If you've put off replacing windows in your home because it's too expensive, here's great news. You can now get a free in-home window consultation and free price quote from Renewal by Andersen, the company with the most 5-star reviews among leading full-service window replacement companies. And right now, you can save $359 off every window and $887 off every door. Just text RENEWAL to 200-300 for your free consultation on top-quality affordable windows or patio doors for no dollars down, no payments, and no interest for a year. That's right. You don't pay a dime for an entire year. Plus, save $359 off every window and $887 off every door. But hurry, these big dollar savings end this month. Text RENEWAL to 200-300 right now. Text the word RENEWAL to 200-300. Don't wait. Text RENEWAL to 200-300.
This is
Hey, you're on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. It's RJ Ochoa thumping in the background. I'm Rob Thompson. Make sure you're watching us live. We get dressed up, comb our hair, brush your teeth, do all the appropriate stuff for you. The least you can do is watch us. You can go there via our SA Sports Star page or our YouTube feed, whatever it is, and make sure you are subscribed to it so you know when it's happening. And again, we're just the beginning of a full sporting day. The Blitz will be here at 2:00. Make sure you're subscribed and appropriately for them as well.
I'm done with the
go.
Brock Purdy slander.
Ooh. Wow. Go ahead and get it, Pat McAfee. We're talking golf real quick. I just got an update. We're right at 100 spots left. We're a third of the way booked, and it's only January the 30th. We'll be playing March the 25th. It's going to be a good time by all. Out at the Golf Club of Texas, you know the fun we have out on those back nine. You want to play, go to sasportstar.com. Get yourself signed up immediately. If you're single, we got room. We got just two of you. We'll make it work, but you better get in line because we always do fill up.
I hate all these Purdy stands. Let's talk about anything other than Brock Purdy.
We will separate ourselves from Purdy, though. I find it very interesting. Your complete distaste.
It's not.
Why? I don't understand why you won't give him credit.
I'm fine giving him credit, but we go overboard with this credit. We act like because, again, all these fortuitous things happened around him that he's an MVP. He is very, very, very good. But the implication or the idea that Kyle Shanahan wouldn't trade him for any one of these players straight up is ridiculous.
I disagree. But don't you know some people that are just lucky? That things just work for them. Winners win. That's what they do. And sometimes losers lose. That's what they do. Not because of things they did. Some people just are under a dark cloud. Some people just, you know them, and they're like, man, if it's bad, it's going to happen to them. And it looks like Brock Purdy's the guy that, he always finds the quarter face up. His toast never lands peanut butter down. It always lands up. He throws a bad ball. It bounces off the defender's face right into his guy's hands. Some guys win. And Purdy strikes me as one of those dudes.
This isn't my grievance, but I have come across a grievance that I'll share later that I think is quite the take. I mean, I think you're going to go, wow, this bothers you? But I have a grievance that I did not know is a grievance. It just that's who I am. So it's not the Brock Purdy thing to really put in context how upset I am about this.
Well, when do we get to hear this?
I can't share it yet. It's not at 9:30. We'll talk about our grievances. That's when we are grievances.
That was one of those professional radio teases.
Yeah,
that's good.
So think about it. It's a bigger deal in my mind than these little cutesies that are all Brock Purdy's awesome. Brock Purdy deserves MVP. Brock Purdy's the best. Y'all chill out. All right, chill out. Be cool.
So to prepare you for the grievance at 9:30. Right prior to that, we're going to give away some John Michael Montgomery tickets. He's coming to our rodeo February the 19th. He'll be performing on that circular stage. You want to be there? Hang around right about 9:24, right in that little time slot. We'll be giving those tickets away. So last night, Spurs tried to stack 3 consecutive wins. We haven't seen that since 2022.
The final days of 2022, by the way.
Consider that. It's been a long time since the Spurs have stacked 3. And they got to do it at home against a team that is literally worse than they are. And there's only 2 of them. A team that they beat last week so badly that team fired their coach. Now, we won't go there, but I'm just saying. So that team recently fired, the Spurs had They showed up last night, and the Spurs hold a 14-point lead, 12-point lead all night long until the time it mattered, and reversing a trend and changing the trajectory yet again, give a victory to a terrible basketball team by playing terrible basketball.
I just don't know how this is possible. I mean, it'd be one thing if they weren't in it. You know what I mean? Like if they had just gotten waxed from the jump, but I mean, they had the higher win probability for most of this game. like literally all but the final, almost 3 minutes. It's improbable. Like literally improbable that they lost this game. And again, it would be another thing if they held the lead, like the Minnesota game the other night, right? Like they're in the lead, and the whole time you're thinking like, this is too good to be true. This is too good to be true. It's going to fall apart. The T-Wolves are too good. They're going to find a way. They found a way. They're one of the best teams in the West. No, you blew this game against a crap team because you're a crap team. And that's what we just have to accept, Rob. We're crap.
We are crap, though. There are no real ramifications for losing, are there? I mean, you lose a game or two as long as the greater good was achieved, as long as we feel good about ourselves, feel good about our buddies, and feel good about our progress. The losses, I mean, who really cares? There's always a lot of reasons for losses, and we had every reason last night. This is Greg Popovich postgame after yet another L.
Well, that's what I call a self-inflicted loss. I thought Washington played harder than we did. They played smarter. They executed better. We didn't have enough people playing well or playing smart, and we did that to ourselves. So I think it's a tough loss because for the first time in a while, we looked young. We looked immature. We looked foolish and did not play with each other the way we have been. So that's a disappointment. But that's the way it goes, and you move on.
They gave last night the game to the Wizards in the fourth. They managed 20 points. We'd like to congratulate Jeremy Sohan and Trey Jones for participating. They were unable to score in that fourth quarter. Devin Vassell outscored a dead guy by 4 points, and the Spurs gave up 31 as they just collapsed. You give up that kind of buckets that kind of way. We're talking layups, 3-pass dunks, wide open jump shots. It wasn't a contested, hard-fought game. It was a mistake-laden, both teams staggering to the finish, and watching the Spurs trip over their shoelaces and step on their tongues and not even make it to the finish line was as bad a loss as we've seen, because this was bad on bad. This was equal talent getting beaten by a want to and desire. It's as bad as it gets, and there's no explaining this. There's no excuses for what we saw. I mean, you could say youth, I guess.
Like I said, if it had been against a top team, against a team competing, if this was late March and something's on the line for somebody else and you're just already kind of out of it, you're mentally checked out, whatever, like the circumstances are a little bit different, but you had every reason. You had the three. I don't think any Spurs player is like, okay, guys, let's go get 3 in a row, right? Like, let's go do this for the first time since 2022. I don't think that's on the minds of anybody. I do think, somewhat, fully tongue-in-cheek, that they're fully focused on getting 20-plus assists because, the streak. But in all seriousness, I think that they're just like, oh, well, they suck too, so, somebody had to win, and it wasn't us. And then Chetty went off, so good for him. He'll be out of here in a week, but,
free Chetty. Free Chetty. 20 points last night. He was
4 of 6 beyond the arc. He was awesome. And he had one of the best plays of the game on one of the 2 he missed. Wemby had the dumbest rebound in the world. Like, I don't know how this is physically possible. His arm just like swoops down. I mean, like Gumby or like Mr. Fantastic, and just pulls it back and finds Chetty coming down in, for the easy layup. But it's just.
Okay, I'm going to flip it. I'm going to let the bad air out. We'll talk about the ongoing issues with talent and want to and things that are going on with the Spurs. And let's focus on the only reason I watch this team. It's Victor. We're going to have to come up with different stats for this cat. What do you count it as when he goes up to block a shot and he steals it out of the air? He just grabs it out of the air and starts dribbling. Is that a block shot? Or is that a steal, or is it both?
Can I offer you a a made-up term, although it's kind of a ripoff. There's a good friend of mine, David Hellman, used to cover the Cowboys for DallasCowboys.com, now works for Fox Sports.
Good dude.
He used to, during Cowboys training camp, when Dez Bryant would do something like crazy, he would call it a Dez thing, right? Like, because only Dez could do those things. This is a Wemby thing. It's a dub T. That's what we're calling it, a dub T.
A dub T.
Yeah, a Wemby thing. Dub T.
Dub T.
WT
That's
sounds
a
weird.
dub T.
Dub T.
Because
that was a dub.
Is it a block or is it a steal? If the guy goes up to shoot and you alter the invert, you alter it, that's a block. But if it never goes to anybody else's control, you literally grab it out of the air, that's also a steal, right?
I mean, I don't know how it's like literally and statistically categorized, but in my mind, it's a dub T.
It's a dub T.
And similarly to the Chetty play that I talked about, like, it should not be possible for him to, just literally insert his entire arm in front of another person. I mean, it literally is like Mr. Fantastic, like, swooping his arm in and just like pulling it back. And not only to have the like physical and emotional and mental wherewithal to like accomplish that, but then to dish it back to Chetty for the easy 2 point. It's a dub.
T's were on display, and you have, it's just being wasted. I mean, just wasted what we're watching. Nobody should do what Wemby does on a regular basis and look at and have a plus minus like what he deals with. It's a function of the guys around you. And I know Devin had this and Jeremy's had his nights and Osman went off, but any night that anybody takes equal to or more shots than Wemby is a problem. And last night, 19 for Victor, 19 for Devin. Victor should walk off this floor every night with 5 more shots than anybody. And I would say he should have more shots than 2 of the starters combined every night. That's the math that I'm going by. Because
to your point, Devin had 19, Trey had 12. So you're talking about they've got 31 to Wemby's 19.
30 shots for Wemby. I'm talking Kobe volume.
I mean, I don't disagree with you.
Well, what are we beating around the bush for? What are we waiting on?
I mean, well, the minutes restriction.
Well, not anymore. See, we just were informed.
They don't want to rush him.
We were informed yesterday pregame by the suits, the scientists that are worked up some kind of formula that he's now going to be free to play more back-to-backs and more minutes. He's crossed some kind of threshold. I don't know what it was, but now we get to see more of him. Though, if more of him equals this, if more of Wemby last night, 30 minutes equals this, 30 minutes should be 30 shots. A shot a minute.
I don't think that's unfair. I mean, in fact, I think it's more than fair. It's common sense. It's. And if that happens, I don't mean to if that happens, the Spurs win. There's like against this team, at least in this game, there's no doubt about it. Like, respect team basketball, the beautiful game, blah, blah, blah. Not right now. This is the Wemby show. This is all anybody cares about. This is why everyone's showing up. We need to see this. We need to groom it. We need to develop it. We need to nurture it and take care of it. Photosynthesis, water, sun, everything involved here. On the subject, by the way, of what everybody cares about, the NBA released their top selling jerseys this morning. What do you think Wemby ranks?
3, 4.
He is 4th.
4.
1 through 15. Very
Ryan literally held up 4, and I said 3. Ryan literally gave me the number 4, and I said 3.
Tatum, LeBron, Wemby.
Steph, I'm down.
Who doesn't have a Steph jersey?
By
or
now,
a Tatum
right?
Jersey?
That's
or a
why
LeBron jersey.
They get those ugly oak tree jerseys. Hey, I hear tell the 9 o'clock hour is going to be one for the ages. That's what I'm hearing. It'll involve John Michael Montgomery tickets, RJ Ochoa, and laughter-filled hijinks. We'll be right back here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Car.
If you miss the Blitz with Jason and Joe, then you miss this.
As we visit with MD Kalu here on the Blitz.
I believe the NFL is the greatest league in the world. With as great as the season the Texans had and the trajectory looking up, we've all seen it. This team, if you don't do the offseason the way you're supposed to do the offseason, it could be 7-10 next year. So, yeah, the future is bright, but Nick Casario, D'Amico Ryans, they can't, kick back and put their feet on the table and fist bump each other. It's like they need to get on that grind.
Right home with the Blitz. Afternoons 2 to 6 on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Flight by Yingling is the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yingling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass, raise the bar. Flight by Yingling. Available wherever beer is sold. DG Yingling & Son Incorporated, Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
If you get arrested, get out of jail fast by calling AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text bail to 474747 or online mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else. Don't be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you one, make sure you understand the conditions before accepting it. AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price. They have payment plans. Call 210-225-2121 or mybestbailbonds.com.
License number 149.
I'm Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I learned about atrial fibrillation the hard way. My symptoms would come and go. Shortness of breath, fatigue. I kept going. Then I got so lightheaded, I couldn't. My doctor said I have AFib, so I'm about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. Other symptoms, irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain can come and go, but the risk of stroke stays. If you have symptoms, tell a doctor. Visit notimetowait.com.
Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Some people just know bundling with Allstate means big savings. Just like they know the right ingredient means big flavor. They know honey on pizza is where it's at. And olive oil on ice cream is the cherry on top. And they know when you bundle home and auto with Allstate, you can save up to 25%.
Bundled savings vary by state and are not available in every state. Saving up to 25% is the countrywide average of the maximum available savings off the home policy. Allstate Vehicle and Property Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Sick and tired of achy joints? Dread the idea of surgery? You need to call QC Kinetics today. Hey, it's James Spudger with San Antonio Sports Star. Listen, the state of healthcare is always changing. The old ideas like steroids and surgery are no longer your only options. Regenerative medicine at QC Kinetics is transforming lives with innovative and non-surgical drug-free treatments that deliver lasting results. Knee pain, back pain, shoulder pain, pain from arthritis or injury. Don't let this pain keep you from living your best life. QC Kinetics' advanced state-of-the-art treatments harness and direct your body's natural ability to restore and repair damaged joint tissue. This is a revolutionary approach that can get you long-term relief with no downtime. Make 2024 the year you reclaim your mobility, reclaim your independence, walk, run, play, and live without the danger and trauma of surgery and without harmful drugs. Call QC Kinetics now for a free consultation. 210-571-0318. That's 210-571-0318. Locations in Hollywood Park, Westover Hills, and New Braunfels.
We are down to the big game in the football season, and you could still play along at Underdog Fantasy. Jason Minix here from the Blitz. I love playing the Pick'em game at Underdog Fantasy, where you pick between 2 and 5 players and select whether they will go higher or lower their predicted stats. And if your picks hit, you can win up to 100 times your money in a single night. It is a fantasy game that is legal in Texas and certainly makes watching the games a lot more fun. Get in the game now. Go to their easy-to-use mobile app or go to UnderdogFantasy.com. Sign up with my promo code STAR, and Underdog will match your first deposit up to $100, and you're ready for the big game. Plus, they'll give you a special pickup higher than a half total yards to use on your first pick'em entry. UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code STAR. Must be over 18 and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org.
This is Jim Rome. Have a take, don't suck on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, KTFM Floresville.
San Antonio's Sports Center.
Dallas Cowboys defensive coordinator has his second interview with the Washington Commanders. I'm talking about Dan Quinn. He's up for that gig, and also the Seahawks. We're eager to see that. Houston Texans quarterback coach Gerard Johnson, former Aggie, has got an in-person interview with the Tampa Bay Bucs to take Todd Bowles' offensive coordinator job.
Sports Center is brought to you by Buyers Barricades, the Texas authority in barricade rental. BuyersBarricades.com.
This is R&R in the morning.
Man in motion, handoff, Pollard coming right.
Bang, zoom. Touchdown, Cowboys.
Wembanyama about 3 feet behind the line. Got it.
It's R&R in the Morning with Rob Thompson and the managing editor of Blogging the Boys, RJ Ochoa.
Good morning.
Hey, good morning to you. He's RJ Ochoa. I'm Rob Thompson. We are together for our last hour. Yet again, we're glad you're here with us. We got lots of stuff to get into today. We are on a Tuesday as we head toward a rock-full fun week in Las Vegas for Super Bowl 58. We will be headed there, bringing you all things Super Bowl starting next Sunday morning, bright and oily. You packed yet? You planning your clothes?
No, not quite.
Your party
I've
clothes?
mentally started to kind of, have you looked at the weather, by the way?
I have not. I was just about to ask. It's desert weather, cold at night, hot in the day.
I haven't looked at like hour by hour, but the low is like 23. And the high is like 41.
We've seen colder, RJ. In fact, I love one of the many things about social media that has really changed for the better our world is our ability to look back in time through our history. Like on Facebook, and it popped up literally today. Back, that's been a minute, 5 years ago. Minneapolis, where we were in the snow, and we posted a picture in the memories, and it was a high of 3 and a low of like -7 with a wind chill of -28.
I don't know that I've ever discussed this part of that trip on the air, but I guess I'm going to ask you something very strange that kind of normal around here, but what was your like bottom half layer like? Did you only wear a pair of pants? Or did you wear any kind of like thermals or anything?
I don't recall. I think I packed thermals just in case, but I don't recall ever wearing them.
Thermals are the kind of thing that when you do something like that, like what we were doing, because you're really just walking from the car indoors. So you kind of think like this makes sense, but like it's not a real practical idea.
Yeah, I'll be hot all
right,
day.
Exactly. Now I remember thinking that, but when we would kind of get dressed with, you wear like a shirt or a polo, half zip, sweater, then maybe like a big jacket. But I remember the very first time we walked out, maybe that Monday into, the mall, just thinking like, I am so unevenly cold. like I'm very, very cold from my waist up, but I have a lot of layers protecting me. I literally just have a pair of pants. Like
the nether regions were a barren tundra, man. It was cold.
It was discombobulated. I don't know that Vegas will offer that specifically. I was going to ask you, how many times have you been to Vegas in your life?
I don't know. Many times.
I've been once, and it was right after I turned 21. A bunch of friends and I, we were the only people to ever go to Las Vegas right after we turned 21.
Yeah, that's never happened before. They don't do that anymore.
Yes. So that's my only experience.
It's and as many times as I've been, Joe and Jason are on another level. So you're going with seasoned professionals for sure.
Well, I want to eat a pretzel, and I want to get a really good like strawberry milkshake.
And we're going to have to raise your expectations incredibly.
I have one.
Because we're going to have some time, you and I, together during the day. I want to go find some kind of random Vegas show. I'd like there's the gangster museum. Oh, the Blue Man sucks, man.
Like Celine Dion that we're doing here.
So, but you and I, we're going to go find ourselves a typical Vegas show.
Huh.
We'll look up and down the strip, and we'll find one of those middayers with a magician who does 3, something like this to go to, because you don't have the Vegas experience. I feel like I need to introduce you to the other stuff, not just the gambling, but the
magician will do something to you, and you're going to be the classic like, let me see that again. Like, just do that again. Let me really watch you this time. Do that again. One request as a group. You ready for this?
Okay.
We have to take the Ocean's 11 water fountain.
Oh, don't worry. We'll find it. Yeah.
Bellagio picture.
We'll have to.
We'll be the only people who do that all
Yeah,
week.
that's not happened before too. We'll do
if
that.
we were the Ocean's 11 cast, I think that I'm obviously George Clooney and you're Brad Pitt. Right. I think that would make Jason and Joe, the Blitz boys. Remember that movie had the real life, or not real life, but they were brothers and they fought and squabbled all the time in the film.
Those two.
They were the like explosive dudes or whatever. That's them.
I wish I could remember those guys' names, but yeah, I'll give them. That's
who they are. Yeah.
Okay. The other the thing about going to Vegas for the Super Bowl, and I think, I was there for the All-Star game, and it was gridlock. It was nuts.
Oh, in 07?
Yeah. That was a different kind of thing. Vegas is different now. That's been 15 years or so. So it's not the same place, but it is. I'm trying to, there's always been this, there's a rhythm to the Super Bowl. Monday is always Monday. Tuesday, things start to simmer. Wednesday, flights are landing. You're starting to see people. Thursday, it's on, bruh. Friday, it is 100 miles an hour from the moment you wake up, and it does not stop until the confetti has fallen. It starts Friday, and I wonder if we're going to have an increased amplitude early in the week because it's Vegas, baby. It's Vegas. And then you combine that with a 49er fan group that it's been a minute. They're close enough to...
A minute?
I mean, it's been a minute, 5 years.
4 years.
But, I mean,
Relax.
It's a minute. I mean, you wonder, and it's new faces. It would have been different if it had been Detroit, Baltimore. It would have been nuts. But you wonder if the amplitude of the week will pick up earlier because it's Vegas, baby. Why wait till Wednesday or Thursday?
That's true. Also, I mean, the West Coast time, everybody wants to get up, be caught up with the world. There is some discussion happening about the media hotel. Did you see this?
Yeah, I saw that. We're the media hotel this year is in the Luxor. We always get a house. It's just more cost effective for us. So we've got a place I believe in right downtown Vegas. We'll be commuting from. But the media hotel in the Luxor, I've actually stayed in the Luxor some 30 years ago.
Okay.
It has elevators that go at an angle.
That sounds terrifying.
Yeah,
I mean, there are marvels of human architecture that I don't understand. Like, I don't understand how that guitar-shaped hotel works in Miami. That's just, how does the glass bend like that?
It's science.
I think I knew that. So thank you for the clarification. I'm excited. It's going to be cold and not as cold as Minnesota.
Today, the topic of conversation around the campfire of Dallas Cowboy fans will be Stephen Jones' acumen and talent acquisition. That, as the Cowboys do have some guys in MVP conversations, and they have drafted relatively good, some years better than others, but as a whole, Will McClay and clan have done a pretty good job of bringing in talent because the fact, despite the reputation, is the Cowboys don't do deals. They don't do free agency. They rarely trade, and when they do, it's only when their back is literally against the wall. Is that a fair statement?
I think that's a fair descriptor of how the Cowboys ultimately operate. I don't agree with it, but I do think that accurately describes it.
So now the story that we're bringing up, this gives everything we just talked about some credence because this is a off of a podcast. What's the name of the podcast?
About Them Cowboys.
And it's a good podcast, one with all the athletic guys, Machota and former DallasCowboy.com digital producer and type. What's his name?
Kent Garrison.
This is Kent Garrison talking on this podcast about a draft in the past, but at some point between 2013 and 2019, and what occurred with Stephen Jones in a phone call. Listen to this.
Will's got a lot to say. That reminded me of something. When I worked there, one of my favorite parts was after the draft, going through all the tape of the draft and seeing who called them, because it's all recorded, like all the trade requests and all that. It's all just seeing, all that, like so the stuff they turned down, when they could
seeing or listening,
seeing and listening. Because it's all the phone lines are, if you watch the secret audio, the phone lines are all connected in through the cameras too. So
did the Lions ever try and offer him Stafford? I'm just kidding.
I know another Lion saying that I'm not going to mention specifics about, but there was a call about the Lions from the Lions during this time. And
Calvin Johnson,
the Lions called him and offered him somebody, and Steven was like, "Who is that?" And I mean, it was a pretty decent name, and he was like, "Who?" And Lions
Megatron.
He's blah blah blah, and they explained who it is. He's like, "Oh, we'll call you back." And Steven just like hangs up the phone and just sits there and keeps watching the draft. Doesn't even tell anyone that somebody called. Doesn't even ask Will who this guy is. And then the guy calls back like 5 minutes later. It's like, "Hey, did you think about that?" And he's like, "Yeah, no."
Now, the story on its face is embarrassing. It is a shameful account of the way you don't run a draft, especially if you're Steven. You take calls, you listen. You should be aware of guys that are out there that either are available or at least other guys in the league. And if you don't know, shame on you. I mean, that's proving the narrative, right? I mean, but that's why I question this, because it so appropriately proves a narrative that we believe to be true, that it's too perfect. I just don't buy the scenario because it fits too well. And maybe that's the problem, because it just fits the narrative, RJ, that the Cowboys are just in it barely. They're going to do enough. Like right now, as we head into this, the Super Bowl, and the Super Bowl's done and free agency begins, are the Jones going to be on dry land, or are they going to be on a boat someplace when NFL business is going on and they're out vacationing? I mean, it fits the narrative that they'll do what's required because we'll buy the tickets.
I don't think that they're, the incompetent people that a lot of people act like. I mean, this often ends in a game of extremes. They believe that they are not as hungry or as rabid or as hardworking or they're not grinders the way that a lot of NFL personnel are. And you have to be. You have to be a grinder. You have to be willing to, the ism, do what others will not and look where others won't. And
find a Brock Purdy.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the life of an NFL scout, but it has to be the life of an NFL evaluator.
Right.
I think that's the life of Howie Roseman, and I think that's why the Eagles constantly outfit their roster with all sorts of talent. And I think that Stephen Jones, if it weren't for who he is, wouldn't have that job, right? And that's just and that's not like a demerit. I mean, that's just the structure of the organization, but he is not as motivated as other people are, right? And you can talk about that from a psychological standpoint because of a lack of consequences or whatever the case may be. But I buy this. I buy that this is possible. I mean, this particular example is really interesting, and I would certainly be fascinated to know who the player was. But I definitely believe that there are players in the NFL who Stephen Jones, that he should know, that he doesn't know, and that is kind of a problem for somebody who is as important to the organization as he is.
When we look at organizations and the success that lies therein, we apply reasons behind the success. It could be a singular force of will, a coach. It could be an unbelievable twist of luck where you end with a Tom Brady and you draft a Gronkowski and you just find things that no one else saw. And it could be either luck or genius. But I think when the overdriving forces, there are some organizations that just eat, drink, and sleep in pursuit of winning football games and Super Bowls. That really, at the end of the day, is the only thing they care about. And I think when we think of those great franchises that are always here, like the Steelers, they ain't got nothing else going on, but they're waking up thinking about how we get into a Super Bowl. That's all that matters. We're not going to go after the glitz, the glamour. It ain't about selling another ticket. Are we going to win? No, may or may not get there. But that's, there are those franchises I'm comfortable with the fact they're waking up and is like, what do I do today to win tomorrow? That's all that we care about. And I think that a Cowboy fan has reached the realization when Mike McCarthy was brought back, when we were told right after that devastating loss, when Jerry goes, yeah, we're bringing him back, that's not the driving force behind the Cowboys. That Jerry doesn't wake up every day and his first thought is, how do I win the next football game?
Me some glory hole.
And I think with that, we're all starting to question, wait a minute, after 35 years, after 28 years of long last, I finally realizing that I want it more than they do. Is this
I think that's
further proof?
I think that's hard to argue with right now. That's the nicest thing you can say about it, right? It's very difficult to fight against it. And I have fought against it many times in the past because they've had high levels of success. I disagree. People say like, oh, they only want to be mildly competitive. They only want to be, in the mix and because it keeps things controversial. I don't buy that. But what I do buy is that I buy that they want to win the Super Bowl. I buy that very badly because even if you do believe their motives are just profit-based, it would be a highly profitable thing for them to win the Super Bowl. But I think that they're of the mindset that, they've got a lotto ticket and if they hit, great. But if they don't, they're still way better off than most. And so I agree with you. They don't wake up chasing excellence, pursuing it, hungry. And you're right. The McCarthy thing is step one in that direction. So right now we're all kind of, we're playing hopscotch and we're on the first square. And the next square is how they act with regards to their roster construction over the offseason. Are they going to extend Dak? Are they going to restructure Dak? I mean, this whole offseason is going to be an entire, 6-7 month process of them proving to us how serious they are or are not. They've taken one step in the wrong direction. And so, yeah, and people are going to, for anyone who's like, I'm not going to watch, let's be real. We're all going to watch. We're all going to be interested. But I do think that there is an emotional disconnect, an emotional, currency, so to speak, that they have to earn back from people that people, took away with the way they lost the Packers. And they want to feel like their attention is warranted.
So what will be the next step that will give us an idea of which direction things are going? Will it be, obviously, I shouldn't say Dan Quinn, but I do get the sense that if Dan Quinn doesn't get the other gigs, and I don't think he's gonna, and he comes back, are we going to see the second wave of anger? Like, okay, now it's going to be Dan Quinn. Well, right now there's guys like me that are hoping against hope that
the moment that is confirmed, it's going to, literally thing will change, but it will just piss people off. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because it will be more of the same. But even then, I mean, I say we're one step in. We're kind of already almost on the second step, because the only name that was reported in terms of connection to them in the hypothetical that Dan Quinn leaves is Ron Rivera. Like that's not pursuing excellence. That's like, I really don't want to get up off the couch. I'll just leave the channel where it's at. I'll just watch these commercials and, they're going to replay Jurassic Park. I'll watch it, for the 400th time instead of changing the channel to something interesting. I'm good. That's who they are right now. I mean, they don't want to be inconvenienced. And the Ron Rivera even idea lives along those lines.
If the Cowboys are going to get back or get to where Cowboy fans expect them to get there, they're going to have to act like a team that wants it. Let's look forward to the free agents that can help them get there. ESPN's dropped a list of the 50 free agents who might make a difference, and Tyron Smith and Tony Pollard are on that list. Let's talk the Cowboys' future before we air those grievances and head into a Tuesday with a zen-like feeling that only RJ Ochoa can offer. Hey, coming back, let's look around the NFL, and I'll look at the NBA standings as well as we prepare our grievances. This is 94.1, and you are on San Antonio's Sports Star.
The NFL playoffs are here.
Read all about it, baby. One last drive.
Wild card, divisional, conference championship, and Super Bowl 58 in Las Vegas. Hear it on your exclusive home for the NFL playoffs and the Super Bowl. 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
There's nothing I love more than to buy a 5-year, 10-year, 15-year-old car with great miles and great condition, especially the kind that you might have inherited from a loved one. My name is John Clay Wolf, CEO of America's Best Car Buyer. GiveMeTheVin.com. You can go to GiveMeTheVin.com, put in your license plate number, bada bing, bada boom, get a number quickly and at the top of the market. We love to buy cars.
Sell us your car. GiveMeTheVin.com. So easy you can do it in your underwear.
It is time to play Pass the Pigskin for a chance to win $5,000 cash and tailgate prize packs. Celebrate with Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds by entering the Pork Rind Appreciation Day giveaway at porkrindappreciationday.com. That's porkrindappreciationday.com. And don't forget to pick up your favorite bold flavored protein packed Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds today at HEB. Over the past decade, the Roo Pub has proven to be the best place to watch games with those 3 massive 170-inch screens and TVs all around. Football, basketball, all the UFC fights. And when you show up at the Roo Pub, show up hungry. The food is fantastic. Open daily at 11. Great for lunch, great for dinner, great for late at night, and the best place to watch a game. Celebrating 10 years in business, the Roo Pub is next to the Angry Elephant there at 281 in Redland Road. We'll see you at the Roo.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at getethos.com. That's getethos.com.
When a cold comes on strong, try DayQuil's Severe Honey flavor.
The daytime, coughing, aching, stuffy head, fever, Honeylicious, power through your day medicine. Powerful cold and flu symptom relief with a Honeylicious taste, so a cold won't slow you down. Get back to your day feeling relieved, enjoying the delicious flavor of DayQuil Severe Honey. DayQuil Severe Honey flavor soothes your symptoms with a delicious taste. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Score big with LS Tractors at Dietz Tractor in Seguin, the MVPs of the field. LS Tractors, the star quarterbacks of farming, perfect for tough tasks for farm, ranch, and landscaping. Dietz Tractors has your all-star coaching staff for top-notch equipment. They're not just selling tractors, they're building lasting relationships with unmatched dealer support for parts and maintenance. It's a winning strategy that goes beyond the final whistle. Don't miss the game-winning move. 0% financing available with approved credit on LS Tractors. Start blue, stay blue at Dietz Tractor in Seguin.
Don't let pain keep you from doing the things you love. I'm Dr. Jason Garrett from Arasti. At Arasti, we fix pain fast. Whether you've been living with chronic and nagging pain for years, or if you've recently experienced an injury, our goal is to get you out of pain as quickly as possible. Arasti is completely natural and non-invasive. Plus, Arasti accepts most insurance plans. There's a location near you. Visit arasti.com. That's AIRROSTI.com. Arasti, we fix pain fast.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
Nothing says I love you like romantic timeless jewelry. Even better when you can save an extra 20%. Right now at Diamonds Direct, all fashion favorite jewelry is 20% off. That's earrings, bracelets, pendants, bands, colored gemstone jewelry. Get 20% off Diamonds Direct's already unbeatable prices. Special financing too. Get her something she can enjoy and appreciate for years to come. A fashion favorite from Diamonds Direct. Shop in-store or online at diamondsdirect.com. Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion.
Super Bowl 58 in Vegas is set. It's the Chiefs and Niners. Hear it right here on your exclusive home for the Super Bowl. 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
We're going. We'll take you with us. Make sure you're subscribed in all the proper places so that you too can be a part of our live Radio Row coverage from the big game. We are jetting off on Sunday, going to be there all week long as the 49ers try to take it and the Chiefs try to hold on to it. Our coverage is going to be brought to you by those that always help us. AA Best Bail Bonds presents it. It'll be powered by Synergenics, Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds, and of course, Pork Rind Appreciation Day is just around the corner. All for our coverage. We're bringing it to you, man. I cannot wait because I'm going to just be selfish. When we get to work early in the morning, late at night, depending on how you quantify 4 a.m., at least the city will be moving. There'll be things going on. We've been places where not a lot going on in LA at 3:30 in the morning. This place, there'll be some activity. We'll be able to find your pretzels someplace on the strip when we're ready to go.
I'm very excited for pretzels. I'm very excited just to kind of feel the vibe. There's just a different energy, obviously, about Las Vegas, and even Los Angeles is almost too busy, right? It's too difficult to kind of isolate a vibe and a feeling and an emotion,
right,
and channel it. So I'm excited about this. I'm excited for something really new. Like, Super Bowls have been done in Houston and even Minnesota, Miami, New Orleans, LA. Like, this is a whole new thing. This is a new frontier, right? Like, this has literally never happened before.
Wonder what they're going to do for the media party. I mean, there is a competition amongst cities for the media party. And over the last decade, the best media party was Miami, bar none.
They had that like hot tub sized paella bowl.
They had the giant bowl of paella and the cigar making and all the stuff on the water. It was pretty spectacular. Atlanta was good in their aquarium. If you've seen that aquarium, it was interesting. And
that was
Wolfgang
cool.
Puck was there serving.
I really enjoyed. So Minnesota was where I can't believe you would offer anything other than that. That was where you met Andrew Zimmer.
That's
and that
when my
was
love affair began.
Well, that was where Jason ruined Brad Paisley's life as well. But my favorite
we met
was
Zach Brown there too. Houston was great.
No. That was Minnesota, but that was the Ditka party.
Right.
That was not the media party.
That's right.
But Houston was at the museum.
They had the best food, I think.
Well, what was cool about that was the food was like oriented to the sectors of the museum.
Yeah.
And so it was a real like feng shui kind of, speaking of vibe and culture. So I don't know where it's at this year, but I'm excited.
It'll be RJ's Vegas adventure as he visits on a Super Bowl weekend where everything's going to be up to 11.
We also have some great guests that are locked and loaded that we're hunting down too. Some Cowboys.
Yes. Our talent acquisition, we're better talent acquirers than Steven. See, we don't just turn down calls. We go, him. Point. We know who this person is. Yes, we would like to speak to them.
Him,
we
her,
find
they,
ways
them.
To win.
You never know.
And her. Famous people.
It's going to be great. We'll have videos up on the SA Sports Star YouTube channel. That is the plan, and we'll be all over social. Rob is on Twitter and IG.
And speaking of Twitter, if you were to look at my Twitter feed today, you would see a couple of bulging eyeballs. I have decided, looking
Glad you
at
said
what that means, what those two eyeballs mean in the Twitter sphere, I don't know, but I was winking or headed toward Kyle Kuzma. The only reason being, after watching the Spurs go down the way they did last night, they are woefully lacking in something that the NBA is so desperate to have everybody do, and that's offense. We got an NBA, and we talked about it a little bit last year about how scoring was way up in a 50-point game. Well, that was commonplace. Last year, 50 burgers were everywhere. Now they're raining 70 burgers, and we got dudes that can't score 25. We need some offense. Kyle Kuzma can give you that. The man will take a shot. Just saying, if we're looking to upgrade, Kuzma's given us 2 tryout games, and both of them I thought he acquitted himself quite well. So, Kyle, if you're looking at your Twitter sphere, yeah, I'm winking. Let's talk. We get together. Compare
you
sweaters.
Went fishing. You got the line out, Rob. And if this happens, you have to get a Kyle Kuzma Spurs jersey.
I'm going to have to. Like, I will become his champion. I will become his lead, his blocker, his guy, his body man, because that would, it's a flip for me because I wasn't a big Kuzma guy. But if the Spurs are going to go someplace, I can tell you this without hesitation. This group, as put together, as formulated, and as coached by, will never get any better than where they maybe 35-40 wins. That's the best this team will ever do, and that's with Wemby having an early Hall of Fame-esque rookie season. So that's where we sit. I think we can argue about it, but we got a bunch of Lonnie Walkers running around. We got a bunch of dudes that look a lot like a bunch of other dudes, not doing enough of what those dudes are doing elsewhere.
My only problem with that is, like, there's no need to slight Lonnie right here. You can just go at them.
Lonnie did everything
just call him out. No, that's something. You got a bunch of Devins and Jeremys and Treys. Like, none of these are needle movers. Like, nothing is happening here. Like, we're just treading water. We're literally just watching paint dry. We're literally just existing. That's all. We're in fact, you know what we're doing, Rob? We are literally just aging. That's literally all we're doing. We're literally just all aging. That's all that's happening here.
Tick, tick, tick. But what will make you feel younger? How about a fine show at the rodeo? We got John Michael Montgomery tickets that we are going to give away right this moment. You want to go see him? JMM, as he's known around the radio ranch. Get on the phone right now, 656-3776, 656-ESPN. If you're caller number 6, you get to go see John Michael Montgomery at our beautiful rodeo as the Frost Bank Center continues to smell like the manure that has been placed on the floor, either during the rodeo or during the regular season. It's all a bunch of crap. That's what we call a grievance, and we're airing them next. Hold on, it's coming. You're on 94.1, San Antonio's Sports Star. How are you feeling today? Did you wake up feeling good about yourself, your waistline, and everything about your health? If you did, keep it to yourself. I'm not talking to you. If you did wake up like most, tired, wore out, not feeling good about the way you look or how you feel, I want you to consider the Institute for Functional Health as a place that can literally and figuratively change your life. If you are sick and tired of feeling sick and tired, call Dr. Jacob Torres. If you have resolved in your brand new year's pledge to yourself and others that you are going to lose weight and live a healthier life, call Dr. Torres. If you have tried to diet and lose weight before and failed, and just been unable to do it, call Dr. Torres, because he has done something that nobody's ever been able to do for me. Is he's one, been able to convince me to even try it, and two, help me get it done. And both of those things have happened because he applies what is natural and basic about losing weight to the modern ideas of when to eat, how to eat. He augments with supplements, puts together a program designed for you, gives you every opportunity to be successful. And that's really all you can ask, right? You take that next step and it starts to work. That snowball starts to roll. If you've decided it's time to lose weight, better yet, if you've decided you want to live a healthier and longer life, I want you to write this number down. It's 210-468-1891. It'll change your life. Call it today. Talk with Dr. Torres and his great staff and find out why you can finally be successful losing weight. Go to the website, iffhealth.com. It's a great resource. They put it together well. Got some questions in there they want to ask you. Find out. Go to the website, but listen to me. If you're ready to lose some weight and change your life for the better, call Dr. Torres today. It worked for me. I expect it will for you. And when it does, make sure you thank me later.
It's The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2.
Coming up on The Blitz, so much still to digest from the AFC, NFC championship games, and the perfect person to ask those questions, Shireen Williams from Pro Football Talk.
Yeah, did Dan Campbell make the right calls or not? We'll get her opinion. And a player's perspective as well as Indy Kalu joins us at 3:30. The Blitz starts at 2.
The Blitz, Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
The venue's set. Families coming in from all over. It's our quinceañera. With all the excitement, it may be easy to overlook COVID-19. It's still a risk, and that's why it's muy importante to get this season's COVID-19 shot ahead of time. It helps protect against COVID-19, which can cause severe illness and hospitalization. So let's set the date, vaccinate, and celebrate. Learn about a vaccine option and book this season's updated COVID-19 shot today at schedulecovidvax.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Hey, what are you doing up on the step stool?
About to clean these light fixtures. The whole family's coming over, and if there's even a speck of dust in the house, my abuela will find it.
Here, I got a Swiffer duster to help with that.
A Swiffer what?
A Swiffer duster. It has this cool extendable handle that reaches 6 feet to get high and low, with fluffy dusters that easily trap and lock dust.
So no more step stool?
No more step stool.
Easily trap and lock dust from hard to reach places with the Swiffer duster. Love it or your money back.
If you get arrested, get out of jail fast by calling AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text bail to 474747 or online, mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else. Don't be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you one, make sure you understand the conditions before accepting it. AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price. They have payment plans. Call 210-225-2121 or mybestbailbonds.com.
License number 149.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Texting enrolls for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stopped, opt out. Go to nomoredraftywindows.com for full offer details.
Attention all homeowners. Do you know when to replace your windows? Feeling too hot or cold? It's time to replace. Fog between the glass. Time to replace. Spending too much on expensive energy that literally goes out the window? It's definitely time to replace. If you've put off replacing windows in your home because it's too expensive, here's great news. You can now get a free in-home window consultation and free price quote from Renewal by Andersen, the company with the most 5-star reviews among leading full-service window replacement companies. And right now you can save $359 off every window and $887 off every door. Just text Renewal to 200-300 for your free consultation on top quality affordable windows or patio doors for no dollars down, no payments, and no interest for a year. That's right, you don't pay a dime for an entire year. Plus save $359 off every window and $887 off every door. But hurry, these big dollar savings end this month. Text Renewal to 200-300 right now. Text the word Renewal to 200-300. Don't wait, text Renewal to 200-300.
You're on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. I saw Greeny at work. I expect him to be on air when we're done here in about 20 minutes or so, 30 minutes or so. So Greeny coming around a bend. Romy's swinging in on a vine. Blitz gets going today at 2 o'clock. Remember, all the guests that join us throughout the day are brought to you by Buyers Barricade Line. That's where they're going to be. Last night probably brought on a fair amount of grievances. As the Spurs continue, we're opening up the phone lines. If you need to type your grievance, let it be known. If you air it, it will float away in the breeze and be replaced by that zen-like good air that you're going to need to get through Tuesday. RJ, any pertinent grievances to let off as you want to springboard yourself into a good Tuesday? Morning, Pumbaa.
So my grievance in this particular instance on this particular day, and again, I would love to hear anybody's grievances. You can chat on YouTube, as Rob mentioned, or hit us up, or even tweet at us at Rob Thompson ESPN, at RJ Ochoa. Sometimes grievances are sports related, right? You know, we're all pissed off at the Spurs. Everybody's pissed off at Stephen Jones. This is a non-sports one. I think this is a good one.
Good.
We don't need any more theme parks. We're done.
Oh.
We're good here. I don't know if you've seen this. Since we started the show today, Universal Studios announced a massive theme park.
Where?
It's going to include the Wizarding. I think it's called like Epic Center or something.
The Wizarding World of Harry Potter.
It's got the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, the Ministry of Magic to be specific, Super Nintendo World, How to Train Your Dragon, Isle of Berk, whatever that is, and Dark Universe.
Take my money. Where do I go to spend my money there?
So this past summer, I went to California on a trip right before training camp. Actually, I think you remember I had just been there. And we took my son to Disneyland.
Mm-hmm.
This is too overwhelming. It's too difficult. It's too much. It's too impossible. I had tweeted about like, oh, we're going to be going to Disneyland, and was like, what kind of advice do people have? And I appreciate every sense of advice, but the like massive amounts of advice that were required prove that this is too much. We've made this too extra of a process. I should not have to have a wristband and preloaded this and like 14-step morning itinerary and a 16-step brunch itinerary and a 29-step early afternoon itinerary and plans to go here, there, wherever, but plans to adjust that based on traffic or wherever, and only to see like half of the park, mind you.
Yeah.
It is too overwhelming of a process to go to a theme park.
Did you go for yourselves or did you go for your lovely son?
I mean, he was 1.5.
Yeah, so you didn't go for him.
But I mean, well, it was also for like we didn't ride rides. I mean, you know what I mean? Like,
you think he's going to have even the vaguest memory of being to Disneyland when he was 18 months old?
He has a stuffed Mickey to remember the trip by.
Yeah,
So
you
he's
got a
good.
couple pictures, but you could lie to him. You could lay him in a bunch of blankets and say, you know what? Remember when we were at Disneyland? We took you. There's the picture. See the Mickey hat?
I'm all for imagination and I'm all for content creation. But when I was going, I thought I did my homework. I watched all sorts of YouTube videos and all sorts of crazy things to like learn it. It is it is actually impossible for somebody to do everything at a theme park. There's no human. There's no, not ever. There's no human being who has done everything, who knows everything, who has seen. And like, even I'm all in a huff and puff about the new Universal Studios place, but like, I don't know how many secret like Mickey Mouses there are like buried or whatever. Like everything is like, you know, the 2 years and whatever. Like it's nobody knows. There's no authority on this because it's too extravagant. It's too epic. It's too big. It's too impossible. It didn't have to be this way.
Just admit it. You went for yourself, as Pumbaa said.
Pumbaa Grubs with the great point in the chat says homework for Disneyland is why. This is homework. And along these lines, it's a Disney property. So I'm just going to sandwich it in here. Even though this began about Universal Studios and Pledge, I'm sorry, I love you. The Marvel Cinematic Universe is too complicated.
Oh,
it's a part-time job to keep up with the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I don't have the time. I don't have the energy. And you have to watch like an entire show now to understand one reference point in one movie. Nobody has the time. Nobody can do this.
Well, that's a whole other grievance. The whole Marvel world. I got pulled into that. James Pleasure pulled me into this ridiculous Marvel world that seems to be ever evolving, as I said. But that's a whole other thing.
So are you gonna go to the Universal Studios, the new thing?
Absolutely.
Dude, but then again, like, you know, are you gonna get the wand and there's probably like a magic wand and you get
already.
there and you get
I'm already a member of the Wizarding Guild. I've already been dude, I'm full on Gryffindor, baby. Don't question my Harry Potter bona fides. But
is this a fair grievance?
Curious. It is a very fair grievance because it's a money suck. But I will say, but what you're grieving about, your grievance, is something that is every parent of your age has had that same complaint. That there's There's not enough time. There's not enough money. There's not enough space for everything that I had planned on getting done.
It's not even just the financial element here. And Pumbaa's, speaking my language, says they have you buy a fast pass to wait in another line.
That's the other thing, the financial fast pass, but you're just in another line.
I actually am not even coming at this from a financial standpoint. I'm coming at this from just like an emotional investment standpoint. I cannot capacitate the like content. I cannot just literally absorb it all. Like this new place is gonna have like a Super Mario World. Isn't there already like 3 Super Mario Worlds?
Please be another one.
I mean, I would like to, when I invest myself in something, I want to know everything about it, right? I want to become an authority on that subject. You can't like, you're going to be like, someone's going to be like, oh yeah, well, this is the Mario that's in the land in Paris. And this is the special Goomba that is from the Orlando park and whatever. And like, you simply cannot achieve a full level of knowledge on this subject material anymore. That is my grievance. And I asked you if it was fair. I think we need to institute a new twist on this segment every day, where when one person grievances,
yes,
the other person administers a ruling. So
you have a fair grievance.
Okay. All right.
As one who has been a part of this, and many others are coming, you have a fair grievance.
Okay.
Mine lies outside the sporting world as well.
Okay.
I'm the proud owner of 2 dogs, and I have another one that I have adopted. Okay. Well, he's my son's dog, so it's my grand dog. I have 3 dogs. I have a puppy. She's about 6 months old. That's Avery. My son's dog is a lab boxer pit mix that weighs about 200 pounds. That is an utter beast. And then I have a Chihuahua that weighs about 6 ounces. Those are the disparity of dogs that I have. Okay. We live on a bit of property, but we don't let them out because of there's pumas. There's wild animals that will eat and kill my Chihuahua, and the other ones might run off. So we spend a lot of time walking. They have to, we have like a smaller yard where they can play. So we're forever trying to find things to keep them entertained, to keep them, keep their minds busy, so they're not just going nuts. So I buy a lot of dog toys. I buy them online. I buy them from the big box pet places. I buy dog toys from farm and ranch stores. I'm always on the look for the next. And after a long time of buying these things, I've come to the realization that there's no such thing as an indestructible dog toy. That you just, no matter what they say. Now, you can buy a hoof, and you can buy a deer horn, and you can buy a giant femur. And yeah, they're not going to be able to tear it up, but they don't really want it after a while. But you cannot find, for any amount of money, a toy that will not only entertain and keep them occupied, but one that will last beyond a day. I don't care what you buy. There is no such thing as an indestructible dog toy. Now, don't come at me with the solid rubber ball or the steel thing. Yes, I get it. Those are never going to be torn up, but the dogs don't care about those. There's got to be somewhere out there an investable toy that doesn't just, I go through them daily. If a toy lasts a day, and I'm buying the ones that say indestructible super yacht. I mean, it's not like I'm naive with this. They're made out of ballistic nylon and I feel like after having a dog for a year, that given a little bit of time, I think I could come up with one. Why hasn't anybody else realized that if you put anything that's hanging off of a dog toy and give them any kind of time, they're going to chew it off? I don't care what you put it in, whatever material you use. So don't tell me it's indestructible. I look at it now that is eminently destructible. In fact, I have a dog that will be able to dismantle this toy in 5 minutes. And if they can do that, I should be able to sue them. You need to give me some money. If you've tricked me, how many other people you trick with this indestructible line? And indestructible to what? A toothless Chihuahua? Yeah, I guess they're probably not going to be able to tear it apart. My puppy can eat a toy. I don't care what, it could be government level issue, ballistic, whatever, can get through it. Or I'm being lied to, and it's not what they're telling me it is.
Are you ready for my ruling?
I am. You got a couple dogs,
I know, but I have tiny dogs. Bear is a Cavachon, and Honey is a Cavapoo.
I thought a Cavachon was a lovely hors d'oeuvre.
They're little things. So, again, I think this is an important element of the grievances every day is the ruling, because you know whether you're being fair or not, you're being rational or not.
Fair asking for a toy that will last a week, maybe a day?
It doesn't pass. This is not a fair grievance.
Why? Why is it?
Well, I mean,
you sell me a rope. I'm looking at a rope, just a rope made up. You know the rope that I'm talking about for dogs, which is that big bunch of threads that they've kind of twisted together, and it's a colorful thing. You look at that and go, that should last more than a day.
I mean,
not in my house.
This is kind of a user error at this point.
No, use better thread. You put on your tag, indestructible. Well, I got a couple dogs that I can't be the only guy in the world that not only has one dog, but has two that can destroy any dog toy on the market. I can't be alone in this.
Again, I don't think it's a fair grievance. I think you're buying these toys. You've been doing it.
But they tell me it's indestructible. And I keep thinking I'm upgrading. Like, okay, maybe this one will be the key.
No, if you can take a picture of the label that says indestructible and then prove, then this court is willing to hear your case.
As Kyle Kuzma learned, I will use the socials for my people or my dog's betterment. What do you think? You got something to air? Viking Bob, you dial 656-3776. He's got an idea for my dog. Thanks for calling in, bro.
Hey, always good to hear you guys. We've had a lot of dogs through the years, and we found out that children's toys, stuffed animals and stuff like that, are much more, quote unquote, indestructible than the dog toys. Don't give them dog toys, give them children's toys. They last longer.
You know what? That's probably true. I hadn't considered that. But my youngest gnawed on things too. So those are also chew proof.
Rob, but this is why this is not a fair grievance. It took one caller to completely solve your
But he
problem.
had to go, you know what? Exit the whole aisle. Don't even go in that store. That's enough for there's an entire industry built on taking our money. Like, you know what? Let's lie to these people and give them things and tell them, you know what? This is indestructible. And if it tears up, just bring back the remnants. And there is one that does that. And you know what? To their credit, PetSmart has taken back literally toys that I bought in the morning and brought back that afternoon. Like, nope, not. And like, oh, here it is. Thank you. And they will take it back. I mean, at least because they know
you're signing up for this. You keep, you're like, Lucy, hold the ball. You know what I mean? And then you're just like walking into this every single time. This is on you. I'm sorry. I can't pass this grievance. It's not allowed. It's disallowed.
Well, I have another grievance. That my grievances are not being viewed as grievance enough. No, I'm telling you, I've lost hundreds of dollars.
Ed Mendoza tweeted at us and on Twitter at Ed Star too, so appropriate Twitter handle. Says sometimes you get lucky and someone, or in this case, your wife or significant other will become obsessed with the Disney experience. You get to sit back and let them plan and you can enjoy the experience. I agree with this, but this is still part of the problem. Like it requires a high level of devotion from somebody to make the experience worthwhile. That should not be the case. That's all I'm saying.
I'm getting texts. I'm not alone here.
Joshua Jimenez says in the chat, you've got a grievance. Nah, I gave my dog a remote control car. Destroyed it quicker than a dog toy. RJ doesn't know your struggle, Rob. He's never had a big dog. I mean, look, if you're giving your dog a remote control car, I feel like you're asking.
There comes a time when your dog is looking at you. It's like it's a toy, it's your shoe, or the couch. You get to decide, boss. But something's about to get chewed up, and you got my shoes, my couch, or a toy that I go spend money at. It says indestructible, made of neutral.
Again, if you can prove this, I'll hear it again. But I mean, right now it's not allowed. Right now it just sounds like you're complaining about a dog tearing a toy, which is a very common thing.
And how hard could it be? How hard is it to build an indestructible squeaker?
Well, you know what? You need some sort of element, like some unobtainium, which is the subject of the movie Avatar, which was made into a whole theme park because we're narcissistic about this stuff and we can't let stuff chill and just be. We have to turn everything into a theme park, and then we all have to learn everything about it. We have to go see everything, and we have to have the magic, slushies or whatever at the. You know what? When we went to Disneyland, we went to the Star Wars Galaxy's Edge thing, and we had the blue milk or whatever it was called. It was just a slush. That's all it was. It was just a slush.
Well, what did you think? It was going to be some kind of alien blue milk?
I don't know. Everybody was like, this is amazing. Like this, it's so good. It's so delicious. It's a slush with sugar that's got blue food dye. That's it. Like, chill out. Chill out with the overglorification of these experiences.
When I had an occasion to live very near the Disney World down in Florida. And for the years that we were there, my sons were young, like, 2, 3, 4, 5, young. We bought the annual pass, but we were like, the good thing about the Orlando was you could bring in your own food. They didn't really care. You could just bring in whatever you wanted because I guess the expense. True. So we never,
still works.
Yeah, but we were so cheap going to Disney World because we went every weekend. I never bought any food. I don't recall what the food was. I was always there. I can tell you the one bar that was left. It was in the African Savannah area. There was one bar where you could go get some beer. That's the only thing that I recall from that time frame. But
my problem is I want to be able to accomplish everything. I'm a completionist, and theme parks don't offer that.
No, it's another day and another dollar.
It's too impossible. Again, it's not even the dollar that bothers me, although it does. But like my point is simply about you cannot do everything, even if it was free. You simply do not. No person, even if you took a week to go to one of these theme parks, you couldn't touch everything. That's crazy.
Not so much agreements, but a bit of news. The last medal of the previous Olympics will be awarded today. You see that Russian girl had her gold medal taken away because she was fighting the fact that she had been given PEDs, but was a minor and didn't know. And this is Russian. They take a medal. They've yanked it. And the Americans getting a medal now. And we got another Olympics coming up. And the last one was given.
Also some news. Jake Ferguson, DeMarcus Lawrence, and Tyler Smith have all been added to the Cowboys Pro Bowl list. So
that is just desserts. But for fans of a team that sends a whole lot of guys to the Pro Bowl, that just adds. And I'm not sure how good I feel about this. It's good for them. Hey, good for me.
We have a tweet from somebody who says they saw Daniel Radcliffe in New York last month by their hotel.
Did he have that poor guy? I was going to say, does he have a scar on his forehead? Did he have his glasses on? Poor guy. I mean,
do you really have a wand?
I do. I have one. You can press the button and it has my own particular Patronus spell.
Bring it tomorrow.
Why?
Because we need all the luck in the world to get Kyle Kuzma here. We literally are at a point where we need magic. I mean, that's where we're at.
Well, you have to use that thing appropriately. It's a powerful weapon.
Patronus appropriately.
Well, it's a powerful weapon. What's your Patronus?
I know.
Do you have
it's Stephen Jones.
It is
Stephen
Jones.
Phone calls.
Declining phone calls. Hey, thanks for hanging with us. If you have a grievance, you still got time to air it. We're going to be back again tomorrow, loaded for bear. Don't forget, it's the beginning of a full sporting day. Greeny's next. Roma swinging on a vine, who, by the way, we're going to be talking to live at the Super Bowl. And the Blitz, and they're always chock full of goodness and guests. RJ, have yourself a fine day. We've been early paroled. I'll see you tomorrow.
The professional football playoffs are here.
Out of the gun, back